All right. Good evening. Welcome to MazzaMedia. We are live on YouTube. It's Sunday night, January 18th, 2026, and the Patriots are heading to the AFC Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, that is correct. The New England Patriots just defeated the Houston Texans in an absolute battle in Gillette Stadium. What a night for the Patriots. They are back in the AFC Championship for the first time in a long time. It's been about 8 years. They will take on the Denver Broncos next Sunday at 3 p.m. I'm looking forward to that game. Glad the game was over in a timely fashion. Tonight, we are here because we want to raise, right? We want to raise money for Kelsey. The Patriots are trying to raise another banner, another Super Bowl banner, and we're trying to raise money for Kelsey Fitzsimmons tonight. That is the plan of attack for us tonight. I hope you guys are having a great Sunday. I hope you guys have had a great weekend. And hopefully you guys got tomorrow off as well, as it's Martin Luther King Day. Again, a very great man Martin Luther King was. So tonight, there's a bunch of links. There's a ton of links. All right. So there's a link pinned at the top of the chat. That link at the top of the chat is for Kelsey Fitzsimmons GiveSendGo. I just made a donation to it. And of course, I wanted to say like MazzaMedia, and then it says anonymous giver. So I was like, I guess that's whatever. But at the end of the day, the donation's in there. We're good to go. So I'm leading us off with a donation. So the GiveSendGo at the start of the night was $63,772. That is currently up to $63,928. Looks like someone other than myself as well has already thrown in a donation. Thank you guys so much for helping out Kelsey Fitzsimmons tonight as we continue to raise money for her. Now, special announcement. There is a lot of links, like I said, in the description. You're going to have a link to the Amazon wish list, which our mods here, Jen, a great mod there, is posting links to right now. Kelsey's Giftful wish list is there as well. And then we also have the Poppin' Popcorn stores open. We're going to be talking about that later in the show, about the Poppin' Popcorn store. If you're a Karen Reed supporter, if you remember the Poppin' Popcorn store, it was actually Double Good Popcorn before. It's now Poppin' Popcorn is the new one. Shout out to Allison for getting that set up. And she's just been fantastic helping Kelsey Fitzsimmons any way she can. And we're going to help out Kelsey Fitzsimmons any way that we can. I'm just going to adjust this camera. All right. So let's make sure everyone knows what they need to do to get their donation counted. So in order to get your donation counted, what you have to do, we're only going to count things that are made towards the GiveSendGo tonight. But of course, if you donate to our Wishful list or Amazon list or buy popcorn, that's absolutely fantastic. The Poppin' Popcorn store works this way. 50% of every purchase you make in the Poppin' Popcorn store goes to Kelsey. The rest goes to the folks over that run that whole operation there, that whole fundraiser operation. So they're very good. Their popcorn's fantastic. We'll talk about that a little later. We're going to have some special guests joining us throughout this show tonight. So we got Nurse Kim will be with us a little bit later. Emily C. will be with us a little bit later. And when it happens, Britt Happens will be with us as well. But Lauren Katie, private investigator, let's give her a moment if she's ready. She'll give me the thumbs up when she's ready backstage. All right, she's good to go. All right, Lauren Katie, welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Thank you, and congratulations on the win. What a win it was.
Yes. That was awesome. Oh, it was great. It was a hard-fought one, that's for sure.
Yeah, really good game.
I was like, you got to win tonight, and they got to be over by 7 o'clock. I'm like, don't be like a 7 o'clock ending time. I need some time to kind of mentally transition, come down off the cloud a little bit. Then I'm ready to talk about helping Kelsey. I didn't want it to be like 2 minutes before showtime. It's like, and the Patriots win. It's like, yes, I want like 20 minutes to digest it, get back to normal, and we're good to go. Hope you're well tonight, Lauren.
Yes, I'm doing good.
Great. It looks like are you wearing purple tonight?
I am, yes. Got my purple on. Perfect. So
perfect. I'm wearing blue. I got to get some purple attire. I made it clear last week I never bought pink attire because I just can't wear pink. It's like something in my head's like, just don't do it. I'm like, I'll wear red instead. I'm like, red is the same color as a heart. Heart means love. I can wear the red shirt. So we're good. So Kelsey Fitzsimmons this week. Let's talk about her health. I would say physically, she looked fantastic. She looked a lot better than she has now. I believe she might have had some visits to the doctor. Perhaps we're not going to get into that, but she does look healthier. She looks a lot more just better overall, positive overall. It was really good to see that. What was your reaction to that earlier this week?
I thought she looked great. She always looks beautiful. But she did look good. To me, she looked strong, but also, maybe putting up a brave face, because anytime you're back in front of that judge, I can only imagine how nerve-wracking that is. But I think she was awesome. I mean, she got out there and spoke, and spoke to different people, and I thought it was great, and just shows how strong she is.
Yeah, I think that's exactly, like, for me, like when you look at Karen Reed, who, because we're always saying, like, we've been Karen Reed supporters, we're always saying, like, Karen Reed could be anyone. What happened to Karen Reed could happen to anybody else. And I'm sorry, let's check one thing real quick. Okay. And then what happens is sorry, I just lost my thought. I was reading a comment there, and this actually took my train of thought. What happens is you look at Kelsey Fitzsimmons, and legitimately, she is the living embodiment of it could happen to you, just like it happened to Karen Reed. Other people out there, this could happen to them, and we're constantly trying to fight that. I don't think there will ever be a perfect world or a perfect system. If you look at history, there's always been levels of corruption, levels of people being framed. People have lost their lives throughout history that were framed for, you look at the Salem witch trial, for goodness sakes, how many women were burned to the stake over there for being accused of something that was absolutely outrageous. And when I look at Kelsey, it's that age-old tale of, if it could happen to Karen, it could happen to you. And that's ultimately the fight. That's why we fight for Karen. And that's why, we're fighting for Kelsey as well. And to that point, I think that, I'm ready for trial. I'm ready to see this trial take place. I'm feeling good. Now, you're a private investigator. Is there anything, like, say, for example, if you were a private investigator and you were hypothetically hired, this is all hypothetical, of course, what would be your approach towards this whole thing if you were ever, like, an investigator in this situation?
Yeah. So I think there's a lot to look at in this case. With any type of small town departments like this, you have to try to find any connection that you can to any of the parties. So you have two different cases. You have a criminal case, and then you have a child custody case. So depending on, a lot of the same players would be same and very similar, but you want any connections between the fire department, the
I hear you, Kat. I hear you, Kat.
I know. I'm trying to mute it when I'm not talking, but, like, she's crazy and she just talks all day long. So you may
yeah. I know the feeling. I have a cat just like that. He does the same thing. It's like he's always talking.
Yeah, human. Like, then they hear me talking. They're like, "Oh, you're talking to me." No.
Yeah.
So you want any kind of connections, the fire department, the police department, connections between the judges, connections between those people's kids, connections between those people's cousins, anything. You want who went to school together, as we saw in the Karen Reed case. There were so many people who went to school together that were friends on social media. You want, for the Justin part of the thing, I would be subpoenaing the "Are We Dating the Same Guy" Facebook group and getting that post that was posted about him from another woman that he was allegedly cheating on. I want to talk to that woman. I want to talk to any other women that posted and replied on those sites saying that they knew him or knew about him. So there's so much that you could dive into. And I would love to work this case pro bono if I had my license in Massachusetts, but you could really dive in and find out a lot.
Learn some things. All right. Well, we have a special guest joining this show. She is very well known, and
my girl,
Nurse Kim. Welcome, Nurse Kim.
Oh. Hi, Mazza. Hi,
How
Lord.
are you?
How are you?
Hi.
Patriots won. That was awesome.
May the force be with the boys.
Yep.
It is happening, Mazza. The Pats are back.
Yep.
I am feeling particularly pumped out of my mind.
Yep.
Third stream of the day.
Yeah.
Third one's a charm. I
Yep.
love your face.
Thank
This
you.
one's for Kelsey.
Yeah.
Let's effing go.
Let's do it. Yeah, I know, Nurse Kim, you've been doing triple duty today. You were on your own show with Mr. Mark Bettero this morning, Emily C, and of course Auntie Deb this afternoon. Soon after that, then you sat down for a Patriots game for about 3.5 hours, watched our boys win that game, and now you're here to help Kelsey. We appreciate all you do. And
found myself at Market Basket too, Mazza.
Oh,
okay, at one point. So you know, listen, a woman is always going.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, that's awesome. It's you gotta go stop at the supermarket every chance you get. You just every time I go, it's like, what am I cooking? What's for the big game today? Today it was chicken with garlic palm sauce, which was absolutely
beautiful.
Oh, it was good. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Oh my goodness, Mazza. I didn't know that listen, I knew you were a wing king, but a full chicken. I didn't see that one coming.
Oh yeah, I had to throw a curveball in there today. I couldn't go with the normal wings. I'm like, technically there were wings. There was 4 wings on that chicken, but I had to kind of mix it up today. I had to throw everybody off because I just had to. It needed to be done.
It looks beautiful. Do you have the recipe?
It's going to be salt, garlic, salt, pepper, and then Guy Fieri's butter garlic, which is really good. Season that up. Yeah, definitely. And then after that, cook it 85% of the way. Sweet Baby Ray's garlic Parmesan sauce. I douse it in it with about 15 minutes to go. Throw it back in the oven. Let the sauce simmer on top of the chicken. You take it out. It's perfection.
Sounds delish.
Oh, yeah.
You inviting us over next time?
I need to have a major party for everybody at some point. Yeah, exactly. We'll need to get a wing fund going.
when Kelsey is free.
Yeah, right. A wing celebration for Kelsey. Exactly. The Nurse Kim, again, welcome to the show. Kelsey's health was what we opened up with today. You're a nurse. You're a medical, extraordinaire, which we love. It's one of the best things. We have a lot of legal minds, but you also bring in the medical mind to the Karen Reed case and other cases that you discuss as well. Kelsey looked physically the best we've seen her throughout all of this. What were your thoughts this past week?
Yeah, she sure did. And I think that that's a lot of kind of a combination, right, Mazza? So that's like her being out of jail, her being in the comfort of her parents' home, because here's the thing is when you are confined and you are not receiving the medical treatment that you need, which unfortunately she did not, while she was incarcerated, receive, really kind of medically necessary treatment and procedures that were scheduled that had to actually go to the wayside. So now seeing her after she had been able to, get some good rest. And also, I think it's the mental part of it as well, right? When we're seeing somebody who did suffer from postpartum anxiety prior to the incident, was cleared to go and return back to work before the, incident that occurred this summer. It's just heartbreaking to know that the toll of the mental health also has a toll on our physical health. And I think that Kelsey is going to continue to look better and better while she is even in that home confinement, but she has the ability to be surrounded by love and those around her, of her parents, her family. And although she is still fighting a long battle and a battle to recovery for her physical health, the mental health portion and that specifically not being incarcerated and having her freedom, at least in the capacity of being at home, even if you are in confinement at home, is totally different than being incarcerated in the Commonwealth.
Yeah, it's huge. It's fantastic for her to see her. Like I said, I remember the first time we saw her at a press conference back in September, and you could tell, physically there was still a recovery process there, but this past week she just looked the strongest physically we've seen. And then also I think very optimistic as well. This is just in this camera here. It's a stressful thing to go through, as we saw with Karen Reed. We've seen Aiden Carney and what he's gone through, and some other cases we've followed here and there. It's been stressful for these folks, and it's tough. Like Lauren said earlier on this show, it's tough to, sometimes you put up a stronger presence for behind the scenes. Sometimes there's more stress, but she does a great job of presenting strength, which I'm very happy to see. And I think that, for us, I think the most important thing we can do is raise awareness, help her out, raise funds, and do what we can. So, Kim, any thoughts on that or comment to that?
Oh, absolutely. And Mazza, I
Yeah.
am so proud of you. I just wanted to take a moment because I haven't been on since the way before the new year. And I know that you are doing these, and I think that you stand out to me, and you always
Thank you.
have in a lot of ways. But your ability to keep your eye on what matters and to keep your mission on justice and focusing on what we can do versus sometimes the minutia or the interpersonal relationships of a community is really remarkable, and you are one of one. I find you to be inspiring to a lot of people, including myself, Mazza, and I just think that you have always put your best foot forward, and like doing that, I'm sure gives Kelsey a feeling of relief, like literally her family, that no matter what the noise might be around, that like I can depend that Mazza's going to show up, and that and Mazza's going to have his friends show up, and I thank you for having me and including me. And I want to put my best foot forward for Kelsey as well and continue this fight for her, because we know that there was an injustice that has taken place. And that should always be the bigger picture for all of us. And what we have is our voices, what we have is our heart, and what we feel. So I think that you always put that heart out there, and it's palpable, and all of us appreciate you.
Nurse Kim, thank you so much for that. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And that's, that's for me, that's what this is about, is to help people. I see what Kelsey's gone through, and we saw what Karen went through, and it's extremely difficult. And, for us, I think the best thing we can always do is help people out any way we can. And raising awareness is huge. And I think that if we're going to bring about change, like we're seeing right now happening in Norfolk County, perhaps we can do the same thing here as well. With that said, we have a very special guest joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Nurse Kim is no stranger to her. She was on her show earlier this afternoon. In about 3 seconds, you're about to see 3, 2, 1. Emily C.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hi. I'm sorry.
There we go.
I'm sorry I'm late. It is bath time witching hour right now. So I was just waiting for the tantrum to subside, but I was listening, and I agree with everything that Kimmy just said about you, Mazza. I really appreciate you so much.
Yes, you are quite literally the fundraiser king. So I am so thankful that you have taken that and literally just done above and beyond for this family and for Kelsey, because they deserve it. And you're just selfish, and there is no ego there with you. And so that is amazing. And I think we all consider you just an amazing friend.
Thank you, Lauren. I appreciate it. I'm always happy to have everybody on this show as well to continue this fight and do what we can. That's what this is about. I just, for me, I don't like to see people boxed in situations like Karen. Even someone like Aiden, for example, that wants to stand up and go to battle on behalf of Karen, and then all of a sudden see the counterattacks you saw happen to him there. We don't ever want to see that stuff. And for me, it's just, I think the ultimate picture here is this is a battle of justice, and what's happening to Kelsey Fitzsimmons is evidence to me that, look, they're gonna try to do this to anybody they can get away with it on. And for example, who knows how many other people this has happened to. This is not just Massachusetts residents, but across this country, and that's a very big cause for concern. And I think that in this day and age with technology, the way we all have ability to raise money for people. There was a man who had his truck destroyed that people raised money in $20-something thousand to help the guy get a new truck. I mean, these are the kind of stories that happen now. If someone gets cancer, people help raise money for someone to get, cancer treatments. These are huge things that we in society now have the ability to do, and we can amplify that across the internet, which is absolutely powerful. None of us, have ever I think anybody that's ever seen any of us in person or in a show, I think the first time we probably all saw each other was online, unless it was, the rare occurrence where they did run into you, but it was through something like being in person at a court hearing. But it's huge because it's just the internet has such a way of being useful, and we use this for these matters. We can really change somebody's life, and there's no telling how much Karen or someone like Kelsey would have to fork over in terms of their own money, if not for these levels of fundraisers. So, Emily, did you want to just give us your thoughts about seeing Kelsey Fitzsimmons on TV, on the internet, or at her hearing this particular week, wherever you caught her, on the phone or on television?
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about how I'm all stuck in my chair.
That's okay.
I second everything that I heard you guys saying. I don't know how to. I was feeling conflicted, like multiple emotions for her, because on the one hand, I was like, oh, like this is so great. We're seeing like so many steps forward for her already. And then there was a part of me that was like, she's just at the starting line, like where she was supposed to be in the first place. And it like made me really sad to think like she's already fought so hard, and she's just at the very start of like where like we really should have been out the gate, like in the beginning of all of this. Like, yeah, it just made me sad for her to think like she's already had to work so hard just to get to the starting line. And like, this is where most people are starting their fight, which is like, okay, now let's look at the case. Let's like Lauren was talking about, like, let's like get the, like find out the connections between all these people and like dig into the evidence. And like, she's already just fought so hard just to get here. I just feel like the more that we can come together and support her, the more that will just like boost her morale on top of like the financial lift that we can give to her, because like that's a lot.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It is. And, this week, Tim Bradel had the following to say. Let's just play this real quickly here for us. It's about a 20-second clip, but I think this really reaffirms what we've been saying here. This is what Tim Bradel had to say. This is a video, a courtesy of Justice Serve TV. You can follow them on X, follow them on YouTube. Michael Bryant is actively at these court hearings. And then also he does a show on the Justice Serve YouTube channel with attorney Linda Baden as well. So this is their video footage here. But this is Tim Bradel. What he says here, I think, is very powerful.
The sunshine, Martha and I were talking before she came out here, that the sunshine on this case from the media is really important. And we are really gratified that you're all here paying attention to this. It means the world to us.
Thank you for supporting me.
Thanks, guys.
The sunshine on the media, he makes a comment about. I think that's YouTube media too, right? YouTube media. It's important that we use our channels and any other form of media, social media. Obviously, I'm sure he meant local media, but I'm sure as well, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook. Amplify this stuff. You got a Facebook group. Links in the description for that Facebook group as well. There's a lot of great information by Meredith, who's one of the admins over there, Meredith Spencer, and then we have Gator Boy. And several others that are participating over in that Facebook group. And it's huge. I just think, like Emily, I mean, you this year, I mean, I've seen your channel just absolutely soar. You've been fantastic. And, I'm loving seeing you amplify this news on your channel as well, and discussing matters and Karen Reed and all that. Just what are your thoughts about what Tim Bradel had to say there?
I think Bradel and Betterow are both two lawyers that like truly understand how to kind of like use this to like this media landscape to their advantage. And it's refreshing to see, I think, because like we all know the power of YouTube and social media because we're on it, but I still feel like there's kind of a stigma where it's like there's the real journalists and then there's like other people online, and like, yeah, like I'm not a real journalist, but I have more freedom on my channel. You guys have more freedom on your channels to be able to express your opinions and talk in longer detail than like the WCVB like 30-second spot that they give where they're just like Kelsey Fitzsimmons, blah, 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 blah. And I think that's really powerful. And I appreciate that. I think Bradel and Betterow also kind of like get it.
Yeah, 100%. Lauren, any comment to that about, Bradel, just the job he's doing, someone that's been intermixed with the Turtle Boy case, defending Turtle Boy, but also having a great idea of what's going on out there and now defending a client such as Kelsey Fitzsimmons.
Yeah, no, I'm very thankful that she has Bradle. He was prepared when the SJC, came down and said no go for the, it being overturned. He had it right ready. And, what was it, the next day they were getting her tested and getting her right back home. So I'm thankful that she has him. He's a very smart man, very kind man. And I'm thankful that him and the family are being taken care of by Bradle.
He's done a great job. And Kim, I mean, the media, the local media can be huge. We know we've all been obviously seen, many of the local journalists, we've seen a lot of them at Karen Reed's case.
Yeah.
They don't always cover everything, but
no,
we
they don't
cover enough.
Yeah, no, they don't. And I just wanted to second that about Tim Bradle. And I think that Emily's point as well about Mr. Betterow and Mr. Bradle, they have a specific ability to speak to us lovies, right? As common people and teach us and connect with us. And I would love, or any of us at some time, to ever have an opportunity to speak with Mr. Bradle on a stream would be incredible, because he can reach us and emote to us and also teach us legally and logistically what is next, what is happening with his court filings, with what is going on. And that is rare, babes, because you can have attorneys that are talking to us. I mean, of course, there's the Matas, and of course there is Melanie Little, and love. But for attorneys that do not have platforms and the ability to reach laymen in the community, have long form conversations, and be able to talk to us in the way in which they do, to express their client's plight, what this means for the Commonwealth, and how it applies to us as either residents or just citizens of the United States, what this means to you, and why we feel it deeply and are moved to action the way that we are in these specific cases.
Yeah, it's huge. And no, it's everything that goes on. It's just mind blowing. I just see what's happened, in all these cases. And it's my God, it's even with all the attention that's been on the Karen Reed case. And then you look at what's happened to Kelsey. And what's crazy is that there are levels of what's happened to Kelsey that are, in terms of Kelsey and the first person meeting, comparably to Karen Reed, Kelsey's situation, she was shot. She's lost her child. And then when you look at the conspiracy or cover-up level, Karen's was more layered in terms of the Massachusetts State Police, Norfolk County. Now, with this, it's more like the North Andover Police Department. But, I always start to wonder now, is there, because, I mean, for anybody watching the original Karen Reed case initially, you wonder, is this another situation that's more layered than we think right now? Are we going to go by in a year and suddenly find out, well, Kelsey's story went a lot more deeper than the North Andover Police Department? I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I'm just saying, it's always, if it's on the table for Karen Reed, then, what happened with her, then it could always be there too. You never know who's working, what kind of deals and favors are being done, who's using their power. And someone just said, the judge, look what the judge did, sending her to, back to jail for Thanksgiving and damn near Christmas. It was insane. Absolutely insane, Kim.
Emily? Yeah, no, it totally was, Buzz. I just wanted to say with that is the connections, right? The power and the connections, I think, do run deep in this case. And I'm not saying that I know this or I can confirm this, but I'm just saying that there have been tips and there have been people that have come forward that have said that between the fiance, between the judge, between the public servants in the area that are very closely connected. Remember, those public servants have connections to the DA's office, not that they're embedded or anything like Norfolk DA's troop, that the Mass State Police were, but that I think that this is another case where you're going to see that, oh, well, somehow this one knew this one, and that there was an automatic belief into one side than there was in another, and how everyone responded was in a direct correlation or a reaction to what was done, and a position that was taken immediately. There was no looking around. There was no making other decisions. It was immediate falling in line with one side versus another. And that is where those tentacles, as one says, or where that web will spread. I am interested to see this unfold.
Yeah. You know what kind of drew that thought out of my head? By the way, Jenna, my mod, I just pinned the link to the GiveSendGo along with the Giftful link that you requested. Those are both pinned together at the top of the chat. What kind of engaged this thought in my mind was what Karen was talking about in a recent interview was the fact that how much time had gone on before her or David Yannetti had even started to suspect it being anything at a level other than what it was. And then as time went on, you start to learn that these people work with these people, and these people texted with these people, and Michael Proctor sent these texts, and it starts to turn into this monstrosity of absolute insanity. Oh, by the way, sorry, Britt. I apologize. Britt Happens is here as well.
Hi, Britt.
Ladies and gentlemen, Britt Happens in the house today. How are you, Britt?
Doing great. It snowed in Florida today, so I've got my Justice for Kelsey hoodie.
Nice.
On morning here. Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but we do get snow once in a very long while. So it's great seeing all of you again.
Yeah. In Florida, of all places, too. So that's wild. But yes, Britt, welcome back to the show. I apologize. I got so much stuff going on right now. I'm helping out the mods. I'm calculating the totals. I'm leading this show. My brain's just like,
you're doing so good, Mazza.
Thank you. But Britt, just what are your thoughts about? Actually, you know what, Britt? We need to pivot here. We need to talk about what you and me were talking about earlier today. You had some news.
Oh, sure. So yeah, there is a local news outlet called the Eagle Tribune, local to North Andover. So I sent this to you, Mazza, this afternoon because I knew I was coming on yet another wonderful fundraiser for Kelsey. Do you want to pull it up on the screen, or do you want me to just read it? What are you thinking?
Yeah, I can pull that up on the screen. Let me do this. Let me open them up as images on so I'll pull them out of the chat into larger images, and then they're taking for a while. Here we go.
And I'll give the bullet points while you're pulling it up. So, we were wondering about, obviously anytime an officer has a discharge of a firearm, there is an internal investigation in which it's determined, whether it was justified and what kind of, psychiatric care the officer might need before returning to work, if that person returns to work. So Noonan has been back, and it says in this little clip it here that Noonan has been back since the 27th of August. So it took less than 30 days for him to be placed back into active status, right? However, toward the bottom, it says that it is anticipated Noonan may take some more critical incident leave in the next few months to best care for himself and his family.
He was the one who did the shooting.
Yes.
He's not recovering from anything.
Right.
So what that means is he was brought back from leave, and then he's going back on leave again.
Jeez.
So that seemed odd to me.
Yeah.
But that
makes me think that they think he's a problem.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what is this saying about Lawrence? So he departed from the Lawrence police force. When was this?
Let's
Yeah,
see.
what was
most
right before.
Subjective. So Noonan transferred from Lawrence.
That's right next door
North
from
Andover.
Andover. Yeah,
is
yeah.
my understanding. And it wasn't too long before this June 30th incident. That happened, and he and Kelsey were then placed together as partners for roughly a year. And so my understanding is that they were trying to look into what caused Noonan's transfer, because
Right.
you know, in Massachusetts, sometimes in lieu of disciplinary action, they just transfer you. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right. So do we have any information on that transfer? What brought that transfer on?
Not currently. I don't currently. I feel like Melanie Little was trying to dig into that at one point. So I'll go back and maybe watch some of her previous streams. But yeah,
That's interesting. That's interesting. But Britt, at the top, can we go right back up to the top? I'm so sorry. Just where it says about the de-escalation and the because I find that right. So the Lawrence police force, along with what training Lawrence gave its officers related to use of force and de-escalation. Now, I know Lawrence like the back of my hand. Why? Because I always do home care still in Lawrence, Lowell, in North Andover. That's all my territory. Okay.
Okay.
So, but my Lawrence Police Department is highly trained. Okay. I'm talking highly trained because of city crime. Like they are kind of cutting edge almost, if you will, with like how they have to be so up to par on what is going on for their force. So that's very interesting to me. And if I recall, about a year prior to what happened to Kelsey, wasn't there an incident where, so I wonder if he was brand new on the force when he was paired up with Kelsey, that they had the negative outcome that happened in the community regarding a mother and child?
Oh, no, Kimmy. Bro's been in law enforcement for upwards of 20 years.
Noonan. So he was 20 years prior.
Mm-hmm.
And he was Lawrence for like 19 of it. And then he came to North Andover.
That is my understanding. Now, I don't know if he's been at Lawrence that entire time, but he has been law enforcement for, most of his career.
Okay.
And yeah, look what else it says here.
Yeah, sorry.
Related to use of force and de-escalation. I mean, what does that sound like? It sounds like maybe a little something that happened about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
I just know that Lawrence
this is a completely different use of force and de-escalation. This is in relation to Noonan's departure from the Lawrence police force. So maybe there's a pattern of behavior there.
Right. I think it's a great thing to look at too, because you always want to look at where they came from, what they did there. What led to that? Why did you switch departments? For example, did something happen? And Kim, you seem pretty confident that Lawrence police officers are well trained, so this doesn't seem like too much of a concern in terms of his training. But that necessarily, as we say here, we can only imagine what he did.
It's his behavior. Yes, Mazza.
Right.
What else? Because what does that IA look like, if there is anything? Like, even we've learned like this week from Howie about Marty Kraft and his 21-page of complaints from IA that was mostly internal, right? Having other police officers really note what was going on with him, and yet he was still protected, covered, and he was able to skate long into his golden years.
I mean, that's just the expectation there, it looks like. And then down toward the bottom is what really stood out to me, which is that now we have Noonan yet again possibly going on leave and for several months.
Jeez.
And they're framing it as
what?
doing it to care for
What
his
is
family.
critical incident leave? Like, what is that? What normally constitutes a critical incident? Do you guys know?
Shot, discharge of weapon when he shot his partner. That would be, it would typically be still a
Okay.
I know that he's the one who did it, but like you still have to have a psychiatric, you should, okay, on your department, be evaluated by a psychiatrist after you've had that discharge of weapon.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. That makes
I
sense.
wonder if like, but for him to be needing to go back out after he had returned, what else is happening here? Do you know what I mean? Like, because that just leads me to believe that, is there something underlying? Was there, what else? Because there's another layer to this onion, right?
Did something else happen? Was there another incident for which, you know, he's now being looked at again? But you know what? This all contributes to the lack of credibility that he obviously has. In my opinion, I mean, this is why the grand jury did not return an indictment for the attempted murder charge that the county was originally trying to press onto Kelsey. The only thing that stuck was the assault charge. And part of that was that Noonan got on the stand. And to some extent, they didn't. That means they had to have not found Noonan to be credible.
So hot take here. I just wonder if he's going to seek help in therapy and counseling to get a PTSD diagnosis so that he can say, PTSD, I don't remember. That's why I thought a door was there. And to prep for trial, because his report does not add up to what was heard in that house, and it doesn't add up to common sense. So that's where I tend to go with that.
Yeah. This is the second of the links as well, Brett. So this motion's objective is to look at Noonan's departure.
Same thing.
Oh, it's the same thing? Okay.
Yes,
I see. Oh, you highlighted.
Highlight.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm like, that sounds the same, but take more critical time. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing over in North Andover. Are they, is this going to be your typical cover-up incident, or is it going to be a situation similar to what we saw, different than what we saw in Canton, where actually this department just decides to say, you know what, we're just going to, this guy shot her, he shouldn't have. We're just going to, we don't, because you have to wonder now, because when you look at the Karen Reed case, is there a level of fear now where these police departments have seen what's happened in Canton, and now they don't want to mess around and find out, because if they do, guess what? There's going to be some light shined on you, because they are, look, they know the internet. They've seen what's happened in Canton. They see what's happened with Commissioner Cox right now. He's being sued, and you see what's going on over there. At this point now, they're on their heels now, running backwards. And it's because of people like ourselves, not just the people that are on this show, the people that are in this chat, the people that support Karen, support Aiden, support Sandra Birchmore, support everybody else, Enrique Delgado Garcia. Now all of a sudden there's more eyes on this thing. We've created a lot of change. We've all, our time is coming together. There's a new chief in Canton, Commissioner Cox, what's happened to him. There's been some other things going on, of course, with Michael Morrissey not running for re-election in Norfolk County.
Amen.
Change is happening. It's taken time, and it's going to continue to happen. But I'll tell you one thing. If the North Andover Police Department decides that, you know what, we're not going to try to push this nonsense any further, and we're going to, if they decide to do that, then they should, because I think these police departments need to be accurately giving an account for what's happening. If she was in fact turning the firearm on herself and not on that officer, they need to make that known. I'll leave the floor for anybody that wants it.
Did you see what Jen wrote in the chat?
No.
Jen just wrote something that is very interesting to me. Jenno, one of our mods who, sorry, Jen, that I took the wrench away, still on probation when he shot her.
Yeah.
Who? Noonan? Who's still on? I need to know all of this. Where did we find this? Can we look this up? Where can I look this up? Tell me everything, Jen.
Probation from what?
I just wanted to.
Yeah.
When he was, I don't know.
Can
Noonan.
you tell us?
She's saying Noonan.
Can you tell us more, Jen?
Yeah,
Noonan,
and
she
I
was
mean,
saying.
this
Wow.
entire
Still on
is going
probation
to
now.
come down to Kelsey's word against Noonan's, right?
From the other incident. Okay, that's what they're saying.
Yeah, you didn't have body cams.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh.
incident. Yep, when Kelsey and
Well-
him were together. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, can I play devil's advocate then? Okay. And I
Sure.
know this might be like an actual bad hot take, guys, but I'm just wondering, is it a possibility that do we know what Kelsey, how their relationship was? Like her and Noonan, did they have a good rapport? Did she feel like he had her back? Because you need to trust your partner, right? They have to have your six, literally your back. And I wonder, is it possible that he is really muffed up over this because of what happened, and that he ended up just like lying because he was like, oh my God, I don't want to get, like, did he lie just saying lie, allegedly under pressure because he didn't want it to be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to have to go to, have charges here on it when I thought she was going to hurt herself. So I tried to shoot her. I just shot her in a weird spot and I ended up hurting her more. Or was it reckless? Do you know what I'm saying? Could he really have complex PTSD after witnessing two events like that in less than a year from each other? This, again, the layers here, babes, is going to be something in which we need to really unpack. And there's going to be nuance. There is going to be things that we have to look at and say, he is in the wrong. Kelsey is 100% the victim here. I am a 100% sure in my heart of hearts that Kelsey Fitzsimmons has been absolutely railroaded by Judge Kathleen, by this DA, by that DA's office in Essex County. There has been shit decisions that have been made. However, is also Noonan a victim of his own circumstance if they did not do appropriate follow-up and aftercare for both him and Kelsey after that first incident?
100%.
Which
and
Which
with
is
that,
what I
on the heels
believe.
of Lindsay Clancy, like Lindsay Clancy's case was right before all of this too, and it was like so public that I feel like that was like in everybody's head when it comes to like a new mom and a baby.
And I believe it has been said that they did not offer either Kelsey or Noonan much health, like as far as mental health treatment goes. So that would go along with your point, Kimmy. And I've never heard Kelsey say anything bad about Noonan. So it seems to be, just me and my thoughts, seems to be an overreaction on his part.
Yeah,
it's possible. First of all, Lauren, your hair today, I am in love with it.
Oh, thanks. It's
Gorgeous.
huge. I did the little crimper thing, and I didn't have much time, and it's like, woohoo!
I love that the 90s trends are
The bigger the hair, the closer to God.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah, makes me happy. But no, you're onto something there, Kim and Lauren. I feel that not enough was done to make sure that they both should have been fully back on active duty. And so at the end of the day, the buck stops with them allowing for, Noonan to be carrying a badge and a gun at the time that he did, if that's true. If it is true that, Noonan was suffering from further complexities, right, from that incident a year prior with the mother and child, which, oh my God, like I can tell you it would affect me to see something like that. I mean, our law enforcement sees things every day that are just shocking, completely soul shocking. So, if they did not do enough to follow up on that and provide the support necessary for both Kelsey and Noonan, then we've got a pretty significant problem here, because who else is, carrying a gun and a badge and being placed in positions of authority and in positions with very high pressure and high tension, where, you may or may not have another circumstance like this where there's a discharge of a weapon that, so we need to keep digging into this.
It's a
before it
fact.
happens
And
to somebody else.
I mean, that's what we saw with the Karen Reed case too, is just that constant digging. And even to this day, it's shocking to me how much information continues to come out. The LVTV cops in the house, they're like, cops.
Hey.
Why can't they all be like those guys?
Love you, boy.
Yeah, right.
RLV
guys.
cops. Hi, guys.
Our guys. Yeah.
Oh, and I'll be the first to say, having had great personal history with law enforcement, good cops save lives. Good cops have made my life better. But when you have bad cops and bad administration that is, somehow either encouraging the Proctors of the world or, hiding, behind whatever rock that they want to, because they don't want to be held accountable. When the Proctors of the world surface, then, it makes it to where you are enhancing the tension between law enforcement and the public. And we all want to be in a position where the public and law enforcement trust one another and depend on one another. I mean, nobody wants to have a world where nobody trusts the police, and nobody respects the police.
Where a good place to start is with that? Body cameras, which they had funded and they refused. Yep. So, that's, that was a slap in the face of this community, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Agreed. I mean, if we had body cameras, then none of us would be here. Kelsey, even had she been shot, they would have something to refer back to show what happened.
Yeah.
And, there would be somebody who isn't doubling down on a lie, because somebody is.
Oh, yeah.
Right now. I can tell you that much. And I don't think it's Kelsey.
No.
When we were talking. No, go ahead.
You're good. No, you're good.
I was just going to say, when we were talking before about the connections and then tying in Commissioner Cox, I want people in power to learn a lesson from this, that Commissioner Cox's collateral damage, he didn't need to be involved in this at all. He could have heard from Kelleher from the FBI that they were going to be interviewing Kelly Dever, and he could have said, great, and never met with her and never involved himself, and he'd still be living his life. And it's almost like all these people with these connections want to call in favors after they do something wrong. And how else you don't need to face consequences for bad consequences is don't do bad things. And then you don't have to face bad consequences, and you don't need to call in any favors and say, oh, get me out of this, get me out of that, because you just don't do it in the first place. And it's another way that you can keep on staying out of trouble.
Exactly.
Emily always making it so simple.
No, you don't want to.
As it should be. Life should be simple. Emily is like, look, it's simple. And these folks are like, let's make it complicated. No, listen to Emily C.
It's as a gift to just make it so simple and just understandable to everyone.
You could drive drunk, do something stupid, call in a favor, and get out of the consequences, or you could just not drive drunk, and then you also don't have consequences that you need to get out of because they don't exist in the first place. It just seems easy.
It's crazy. And my concern with the cops that were involved in the Karen Reed case was that they did what they did because they truly believed they could get away with it. They thought they could legitimately do what they did in Sallyport, then come the first trial, invert the footage. And you see what's happened to Kelsey. It's, Kelsey She pointed the firearm at us. Oh yeah, she was we had no choice but to shoot her. Oh, when she did, the firearm happened in the jam too. It's like no, that's then why did you say Kelsey don't do it? That stands out to me. Kelsey don't do it means Kelsey stop. It's like if someone's jumping to the death, don't do it, don't jump. It's not like if someone's actually trying to shoot at you and you're like. Like that, it's totally different. It's absolutely it stands out to me as just another situation where someone in the state of Massachusetts, and look, John O'Keefe was a cop too. John O'Keefe was murdered, and they tried to say his own girlfriend did it, and denied any responsibility from other suspects whatsoever up until this point in time, pending a new DA, Adam Deitch, who could potentially clean up Norfolk County. But you see what's happening here in North Andover. Oh, Kelsey, it's Kelsey. Yeah, she tried to open fire. We had to shoot her. And, and then you look at the logistics. Why would you if there was a firearm in the house, you're just going to start moving around the house and, well, let's go upstairs and have her start packing things. No, let's put her in a one-on-one situation with one of our officers because everything's going to be fine and dandy here. Yeah. Let's let Justin in the house too.
Sweep the house first. Like, we know you said they're in the basement. Let's go check the basement first. Oh, they're not here, Kelsey. Tell us where they actually are.
Right. They should not be moving around that house.
Yeah, everything about that situation was inappropriate. I mean, the more that gets revealed, I mean, we found out that they called Justin over to, come pick up the baby from right there. I mean, you were quite literally asking for, the situation to intensify. Someone who already is under a significant amount of stress. I mean, you're pulling a nursing baby from the arms of his mother, and you're having the person who literally just filed for the restraining order come over to the house where Kelsey still is. I mean, in what world is that okay and appropriate, rather than setting up another place to hand off the child? That child should have gone, and I know we've covered this in previous fundraisers, but I'm going to die on this hill. That child should have been, given some time to be evaluated by social services, make sure, that he's healthy and that everything with him is okay. And then you can, a separate time and place, hand him off to Justin if you're going to give Justin temporary custody.
DCF should have taken that baby out of the house and went to a different location, whether it was a half a mile down the road. They have a care and custody letter that is provided by the judge to have that baby in their care and custody. And then Justin would have met them somewhere else and taken control of the baby. It should have never happened in that house. That is wholly inappropriate, and it only escalates. These are things that cops learn. It is 101 that you don't do that. It escalates things. It was so inappropriate. And this is something too, like, if I shift topics a little bit, is it okay, Mazza?
Do your thing. Whatever you want to do, Lauren, whatever feels best.
I feel like we haven't discussed this enough. So if we go on the timeline of the thing, Justin and Kelsey had just broken up. And I don't know if they were officially completely broken up, but he knew he wasn't going to be living in that house anymore. Okay. So he wanted to get ahead of things and then create this whole issue of she's such a terrible parent, even though up until then he was pushing her to, hey, let's have more children now. Come on. You're the best mom, blah, 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 blah. So all of a sudden, they are no longer together. And this incident happens where he comes to the house. She gets shot. They don't know if she is going to make it. I believe she was life lighted.
Yes.
And he is a firefighter. Let that sink in. He has been trained in emergency services.
Mm-hmm.
He runs out of the house instead of running upstairs to save or possibly
mother's child.
Yes. If he can help the mother of his child. I'm sorry, but how big of a coward do you have to be to do that? I don't care if you're mad at her. I don't care if you never want to be with her. This is your child's mother.
Yep.
Shame on you.
And
I don't even think it's coward. I picture him being like, ha ha ha, this all went like according to plan, exactly how I wanted it to. Like he's like driving away with the baby, like cackling like an evil villain.
I believe
right
it.
there with
him.
I mean, his actions
Allegedly, supposedly, in my opinion.
Sure.
I'm right there with you, allegedly.
But Justin's actions up until now, all that it has, managed to prove to all of us is that he hates Kelsey more than he loves his child, because
100%.
none of this has been in his best interest. It has all been to get ahead of any kind of bad narrative coming out about him, trying to spread as much negative light, put as much negative light on Kelsey as possible, keep her and Kelsey's parents, Caden's grandparents, away from him. I mean, the more people that you
try to get the
have
house
in a child's life who love him, the better. And he's allowing whatever it is that he's trying to get ahead of, whatever it is that he's trying to keep out of the eye of the public, to keep blessings out of his own son's life.
Yeah, he wants to. And I think we've all we're all well-seasoned ladies up here. I think we have all at some point in our lifetime come across a Justin in one form or another. Maybe not to this extent, but we've seen this story before. This is not new. He just got maybe a little bit more audacity to do it to the level that he's doing it. But yeah, he's absolutely trying to get ahead of it because he knows what's going to come out, what really the truth is, what he did. And he wants to go ahead and paint that narrative that Kelsey is crazy and, you can't take anything she says because she's delusional. We've all seen guys like that before. But the problem is that she's not, and she's got proof and she's got receipts. So, it's a problem.
I didn't know Kelsey had an Amazon wish list. I will go on that when I bop off Mazza in a couple of minutes.
There are things that allegedly on June 30th were stolen from Kelsey's house that are included in her Amazon wish list. So by purchasing things on the wish list, you are helping Kelsey replace things that were there in the morning of June 30th. And then, after that day happened, they were no longer there.
Can you guys tell me about the house? Like, what didn't he try to get the house too?
Oh, yeah. Nothing screams, I don't care about you, Kelsey. I care about money. As the whole thing with, let me put this self-serving affidavit out here to get your child taken away from you, and then because I think it's adorable that I think I'm going to get custody for the rest of my child's life, so that you should have to pay me all of the funds from your house that my name was not on for the next 18 years, and I want it now, and it be for future payments.
That's wild.
He wanted the entire youth's worth of child support in one lump sum from that house.
Yep.
I think what's hard about this too is initially when we very first learned about Kelsey's case, and this is kind of to address what Turtle Boy's Pond is saying in the chat, is when we very first learned about this, I was very kind of clear in my mind of wanting to separate the family court stuff from the criminal, her being shot and going to jail and all of that, because they really are two separate things. And I have close friends that were going through a vicious custody battle, and anytime I would talk to each one of them, the stories were very different, and I have a feeling that the truth was probably somewhere in between. And that was kind of how I looked at their like family court side of things. And if she had not been shot, then what should have happened is they went through whatever they did to take the baby because of the order that Justin had filed. And then within like 10 days, they would have gone to court. They would have worked this out, and they would have like come to an agreement based on like both sides of their stories. It just feels like Kelsey hasn't had the chance to tell her story. And now she's suffering from like a gunshot wound and going to jail. And now on top of that, not being able to like go through the process that she should have been able to go through originally, to be able to advocate for herself, to be able to tell her story, to be able, we're only hearing Justin's story in terms of like court documents and stuff. And I think that's where it gets hard to be able to feel like Kelsey's getting a fair shake. And like why, I think like someone was asking, like, why are we kind of like on her side? It's like somebody has to be, it feels like, because it doesn't feel like she's getting the chance to like be on her own side and on the family court side of things at this point.
Yeah, and also I've seen this before. This is not my first rodeo in family law. I mean, that is a big part of my bread and butter for like people hiring private investigators for custody cases. It's very easy to sniff out things like that, especially when you read the court documents. Then you read the court documents of what Noonan is saying, and it doesn't add up. Yeah, that's why I feel strongly about this case. It's BS in my opinion, and I can't wait for her to get there and to tell her story.
Yeah, it's
an advocacy. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mazza.
Kim, go right ahead.
Oh no, I just wanted to say, and also with advocating, like I think as women and our patriarch Mazza here, our wing king, like there is an advocacy for children, right? And it's an advocacy for the baby. And here is where an alienation of grandparents' rights, an alienation of a mother, an abandonment wound that has now been placed in a baby under a year old. You are really, really just playing a dangerous game, in my opinion, is when you are removing a child from the house. You are always wanting to, a reunification process is the only and like the first primary goal is to reunify. And the fact that Kelsey has not been reunified with her baby and not even allowed visitation with her baby is shameful. It is shameful. So that is why I will continue to stand for Kelsey, with Kelsey, and raise my voice.
There are convicts who are allowed time with their children. Their children are brought to a visitation area in prison where they see their mothers who are still serving their sentences. And here you have Kelsey, who has not been convicted of anything. She is still in the eyes of the justice system to be presumed innocent. And it was very telling to me that in the probate matters, Justin was saying things and asking things of the judge as though she's going to be convicted. When he was asking for, funds from the house, when he was, saying things about Kelsey's parents in his motions to not provide visitation to the grandparents. I was just very surprised to see him speak in a manner as though we're going to presume that she is guilty for everything that she's charged. And
I wasn't surprised because out of the mouth's abundance, the heart speaks. This is who he is. When people show you who they are, believe them. And he has shown everyone who he is, and that's why he hired the PR firm. But I'll give you some free advice. Stop being a jerk off and give the grandparents like visitation. Kelsey deserves visitation, and then guess what? You don't have to pay the PR firm. It's just common courtesy. Be a decent human.
Yeah, and that involves more than sending one or two pictures in the span of 6 months. It takes a little more than that. And then, on the other side of that, because, the family court stuff and all the allegations therein are an entirely separate matter that are being used as factual, even though they have not been proven, but being taken as facts when Judge Kathleen McCarthy Neiman is making her rulings. Things such as the Scram device, things like the house arrest. She is using allegations made in the probate court as a basis in her rulings in the criminal matter, which really makes me wonder kind of, you know, Nurse Kim, you were talking earlier today about the, you know, 6 degrees of separation and the incestual connections that just keep rearing their head. I mean, this is not normal, but you know, of course, when you have things like that happening, especially within the context of the other connections that we're seeing and the biases that come from that, how is McCarthy connected to other parties in this? And if she is, you know, does she need to recuse herself? Because her attitude is suggestive of there being some kind of connection there.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to just interject for a moment. Nurse Kim, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight. You know, you have to take off, and you've had a busy day. 3 shows, Market Basket, and a Patriots victory. So.
Woo! What a Sunday. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. Oh my gosh.
Kim, are you still good for the Friday fundraiser?
Yeah.
Love you.
I'll be there, babe.
Okay. Yes. Fantastic.
All right. And thank you so much, lovies. And thank you to everybody who donates tonight. And you are making a difference. And by you being here and by you listening and by you opening your hearts and offering up prayers and any way that we are able to support Kelsey matters. Each and every one of you matter wherever you are. We appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. And have a great night, guys.
This is what Jamie was saying you do at the end.
The pump up that speech. I got to give us a pep talk before we go.
Valedictorian speech.
Love your face. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, Nurse Kim. All right, Nurse Kim, ladies and gentlemen, we love Nurse Kim here at MazzaMedia. She's a great friend to all of us, and again, just a totally awesome advocate, and just does everything she can to advocate for so many people. Kelsey Fitzsimmons, Karen Reed, and beyond. She's a great jobber. Sunday morning shows at Mark Betterow. Sunday services are must-watch streams, of course, and we appreciate everything she's done by participating today. And I'm always thankful for every person that comes on this show. And we will continue to raise money tonight for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. I fixed the Amazon link that was busted earlier. I got the correct one. That's now corrected in the description. It's also corrected on Twitter. Right now, this is already, of the 9 fundraisers that we've done for Kelsey Fitzsimmons, this is already the 4th highest grossing fundraiser for Kelsey we've ever done.
You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. She appreciates it so much.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible.
There's so much that goes into trial, and she has the criminal trial, and then she has the family law trial, and those are both very expensive. So this is really helping her set up to hopefully get success. So any amount is not too small. Anything really helps. So thank you guys.
It's huge. It's incredible. And then, you know, medically and just any other things she needs as well. It's helping her out with that. And it's just, it's amazing what we can all do as people to just come together and support somebody and lift people up and really leave no one behind. As I see the GiveSendGo going up again, which is incredible. We're closing it on $2,000. Actually, we're $20 away. We're at $1,980 right now. This is incredible for Kelsey. And this is why I think fundraising is so important, because it just, it raises awareness. Like, we're raising awareness for her on her story, but we're also raising money for her. So it's kind of like twofold. We're raising awareness. We're having a discussion about what's been happening with her in her life and what they've done to her and what's happened. and at the same time, we're productively raising money for her fight ahead, which is going to be a big one. And that's what I want to talk about next is the trial, which is coming up now in March. No longer is this going to take place in February 9th. It's now been pushed back to March. I believe it's March 23rd, if I'm not mistaken. I got to get my data, but it was pushed back to around March 23rd. I'm going to double check in just a quick second here. I'm sure the chat's probably already correcting me as I'm scrambling to gather that information.
I think that's right, Mazza.
Yeah, it's March 23rd. Yeah, so it's February 9th is the discovery compliance hearing that's taken place. That was Bradel's idea. He wanted to not lose the February 9th date, but the trial's been pushed back. So February 9th is the discovery compliance hearing. March 12th is then the trial readiness conference. And then the March 23rd is the trial, which is projected to last at least 3 days, which, buckle up for that. It's not going to be typically like Karen Reed's case, which every single time it happened, it was, 2 to 3 months. It was like a season of the year, basically. It was 2 to 3 months. You'd start in April, and before you knew it was ending in June. This will be a lot more of a, quicker one, a couple days, a lot less witnesses, I'd imagine, obviously. Emily, do you want to transition?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought you were going to talk. I'm like, let Emily talk. No. That's cool. But I know it will be, similar to other trials that they're not so involved. And I'm looking forward to this happening because I want this to be over for her as soon as possible. I think there's more than enough reasonable doubt. I think number one, it's a he said, she said. I think there's an issue with police protocol. I think if they can prove that, like Bradel's filed to get text messages, email exchanges, if he gets that kind of data and there's anything similar to say like what Michael Proctor did, or even anything that indicates, anything that indicates whatsoever that there's a level of conspiracy or cover up or frame job, as soon as they put that on the table in court, put that on the monitor, it's like, there's your case, jury, you see it. They conspired against my client. This needs to be dismissed. These charges are ridiculous. So that will be big. But
the only person harmed in every element of this case, going from family court to the criminal court, is Kelsey. Nobody else suffered any damages, any injuries. Kelsey's the only one who, to this day, is fighting for her life, who is struggling with needing surgery after surgery. And, nobody else was struck. The baby is fine. Regardless of whatever Justin is saying. So, kind of like what you touched on, Mazza, everything here is hearsay. There's absolutely no evidence of Kelsey, actually harming anybody else. And I can't think of any other time that I've seen somebody charged when, they were the one hurt, unless you have enough evidence to show, that they intended to cause harm to someone else. So this is just completely ridiculous to me for it to pretty much entirely be based on the word of other people whose credibility is highly questioned by the public.
Yeah. That's, another thing too, is we just don't, a lot of times, I'm not saying we don't trust cops outright, but there's reason to question cops. There's reasons to, especially in a situation like this, when you have Kelsey Fitzsimmons, who was an active duty cop and is a cop, in this situation and in this scenario, what about her rights as well? This is cops against cops.
And just to let everyone know, Kelsey is here and they're watching as a family. William is also here. So she appreciates everyone's
I love that
donation.
picture so much.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like
so much happiness looking at it.
It, like what you guys were just saying, it's like to the point that it almost messes with my head sometimes when I like think about it too hard, and I'm like, wait, like Kelsey, like if it hadn't been an officer that did this to her, then all of this would be different. And that's where it like really feels weird to me, where it's like, even if the entire scenario was exactly the same, but it was not a police officer, then this would be that layperson is in prison right now, and we're like supporting Kelsey's recovery on like a GoFundMe, and that's it. And that just doesn't sit well right with my like soul. Like it is very weird, like you were saying, to be the person who we're having to defend is the person who's been hurt the most and was attacked. And
yeah,
it like really like doesn't, it like really like hurts my brain if I think about it for too long.
yeah,
It's
absolutely
really bass backwards. So
yeah, no, it's crazy.
So
it is crazy.
I did want to look through if we can today. If not, it's all right. But I was doing a little bit of window shopping on the Pop and Popcorn website for Kelsey. I remember Karen using that website, and they didn't just have popcorn. So if you guys are not popcorn people, there are plenty of other, goodies and snacks. But on top of that, if you go into the seasonal page, and this is what I'm going to be getting. So there's an entire page of gardening goodies. So there's seeds, there's a cascading cherry tomato object that I didn't get too close of a look at, but I definitely think I'm going to buy that. So, look at that. There's that picture of Kelsey and Katie.
This is great. This is a great transition for us, Britt, because I had this on the agenda for today's fundraiser as well, was to go over this. So we can go through this right now. So I'll just give a quick introduction to the page. So this is the Pop and Shop. So it's Kelsey Fitzsimmons page. That link is pinned in the description for you guys. So if you guys want to go to this link, you can buy whatever you'd like. 50% of all your purchases will go to Kelsey Fitzsimmons. So 50% goes to Kelsey, and then 50% will go to the Pop and Shop. And for anybody that was a Karen Reed supporter, you'll remember this page from the second trial. And I'll tell you two things. I like this better than the original Karen Reed pop-up popcorn store. But I like the options as well, is that if like Britt said, if you don't like popcorn, there's some options. So basically, when you go to the page, it will take you here to Pop and Popcorn Online. Just to make sure you have the right page, just double check to make sure it says Justice for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. It will have her picture. And then they have a goal set of $5,000 right now. There's $4,452 to go. And it's 15 days left, which takes them to February 2nd. So it's usually time. So you just want to select your state that you're going to be, that you live in, or that you want it shipped in if you're shipping it to a friend or family. So you're going to select Massachusetts if you're from Mass. And then once you get past this page, you're going to be in the Pop and Shop. So you'll have your checkout, and you'll have 4 categories: popcorn, candy and snacks, cookies, or seasonal. So I'm going to transition to Britt, and I'm going to go to the seasonal page. And Britt, you can run us right through the page.
Okay, so I'm a huge coffee fan. So there's an entire sampler of different flavors as your first option. I'm not sure what's in that box, but it looked like it might actually be K-Cups if you're a Keurig household. I live in a Keurig household because Mr. Britt Happens and I have very different work schedules, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to put on an entire pot of coffee. So we actually have the little reusable mesh cups, so that we can get these, great beans and flavors, and we're not stuck with just buying the disposable K-Cups. So Jamaican Me Crazy is the next guy. Oh, here we go. That's included in the sampler. Ooh, there's a cinnamon one too. I like darker roasts, so French roast would be a go-to for me. Each packet will make one perfect pot of coffee. Okay, so that's what's included. So it's a packet that you'll put in your regular coffee machine, and it blends one whole pot per packet. So you'll get a whole week's worth of variety. And then, if you'd rather just get an individual flavor, you've got the Jamaican Me Crazy next over here. Let's see. And then the Donut Shop Blend. Donut Shop Blend's kind of a medium roast. Yep.
You have a future at QVC. You're good at this.
Exactly. Over here, we have our Jamaican Me Crazy coffee. You can get 10 packets and make 10 pots of coffee. Twinkle gets the pot of coffee.
And then if you scroll just a hair in the next, I believe it's more coffee. Oh, yep, here we go. Chocolate raspberry. Great for Valentine's Day. So if you and your significant other celebrate Valentine's Day, this is a romantic blend of passionate raspberry and chocolate together, all right there in your brew.
Or if you have someone you want to be a significant other.
There you go. Just brew the pot and then leave it on their doorstep and ding dong ditch them. That screams, I love you. Like giving someone a cup of coffee.
Nothing says I love you more than a pot of coffee.
Here we go.
Also, if you gift things from this to somebody, then you can add a little card or something to explain how it supports Kelsey and what's going on with her, and it's a nice way to spread awareness too.
Yeah.
And last year with the Karen Reed popcorn, I'm guessing this is the same. It was actually really good popcorn, so you were getting good quality, and I would think that this would be the same as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the popcorn was better than the previous store we used. Much better. Love it.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I bought 4 bags for Karen. I got to go shopping on this afterwards and buy a couple popcorn bags, and we'll talk about some good stuff. But they got all kinds of pie mixes and sunflower seed mats, all the good stuff. All right, Vanna White, please continue. No, speaking
of mixes, we have a cheesecake duo mix. So if you have always wanted to make your own cheesecake, but are afraid to go all the way from scratch, you can start here with looks like it comes with enough for 2 whole cheesecakes, and I'm not sure what exactly is in it, but here we go. So there is a mix for a key lime. Okay, so Florida people love key lime, so that's definitely one that I'd be interested in trying. And then caramel apple cheesecake.
Oh, that sounds good.
And if you really wanted to get creative, you could, instead of just whipped cream, maybe find other ways to garnish it, like actually slicing up maybe a Granny Smith apple and putting those slices on the side and then drizzling some caramel sauce on it and then top it with a little cinnamon and nutmeg. Oh my goodness. That would be the most divine way to impress all your party guests. Or, slicing up a little lime wedge. If you ever were a bartender, all kinds of fun ways to slice up limes and make them look super neato mosquito. And then the next items in here are all gardening stuff. This is kind of the seasonal portion of the page. Oh, there it is, the hanging cherry tomato kit. I was interested in that. So no garden needed. Our Babylon bag turns any sunny wall. So it looks like you can do this indoors as well and just have a cascading vine from which you can pick your own cherry tomatoes, you know, add them to your salad for your daily lunch to pack to work, or if you're making, you know, I don't know how much Italian food uses cherry tomatoes, but oh wow, someone just gained 5 pounds from watching.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
That's why you need the tomatoes.
Right.
It's called balance.
Yeah.
And then now my parents
50%.
love, there we go. Yeah, 50% goes to the Kelsey Fund and getting Tim paid. And then the other half goes to the website to cover costs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now my parents love watching hummingbirds. They have little hummingbird feeders on their back porch. And so I'm going to be ordering the hummingbird hanging gardening kit. Maybe they should have found another way to name that, because it actually sounds kind of dark. Like you're gonna but it looks like it includes seeds for flowers that hummingbirds you know, gravitate toward. And then there's also the hummingbird and butterfly gardening kit next to it on the left side there. So you can just put that in your garden. Here we go. Enjoy a profusion of color and blooms with the added bonus of being able to watch the fauna enjoy the nectar of the sweet flowers. Includes a hanging bag with rope, a special hummingbird attracting seed mix, and a complete planting and care instruction set. So I'm going to be ordering that one, and I believe it's only like $20.
15.
Let me see.
Yeah.
$15
15 for all these. Yeah.
Wow.
An absolute bargain.
Yeah. I'm gonna get 2 then.
Everybody's complimenting you, Britt, in the comments. They're like, Britt Mister calling on QVC.
Oh, oh, funny.
We have a lot of birthdays coming up.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the year. So these will all be good birthday
And what a
gifts.
great way to embrace spring, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Given
You know, if you want to go to the movies, you can always smuggle a bag of popcorn underneath your jacket. It's wintertime, you know, you can stuff them in a bag and, you know, sneak it into the movie theater. And they're like, did you buy that here at the theater? Nope, I bought this from Popcorn, and you can too.
I'll smuggle in the hanging cherry tomato kit.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Ma'am, what item have you brought into the movie theater today? I brought the hanging cherry tomato kit with me today, and I'm not apologizing for it.
And I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness.
Right.
Do you want to look at like some of the cookies or anything?
Oh, you bet. Oh, we're going to this whole page. We'll save the popcorn for last. Let's go with the cookies. These cookies up. There we go. All right. So you got 4 items here, 4 category pages, I should say. So now look at this. Look at the brand names. We got Hershey's, Reese's. They got some big time brands going on here. I got to try these cookies this time around. I have to.
Oh wow! So these are not the knockoff candies. They are. It's the real deal you're getting here. I'll tell you what. Nothing is more disappointing to me than a fake Oreo. You know, like the Walmart, you know, store brand Oreos. It's just the cookie part. I mean, the whole thing isn't the same, but they're not as easy to dunk in milk. And then it's the same thing. Like if I go and get some kind of dessert that includes the Oreos. So if you're saying on your menu that it's like an Oreo ice cream or an Oreo cheesecake, it had better actually be Oreos, or else I'm gonna need to speak to the manager.
Hey, Mazza,
Yeah.
If you wanna put up that question by Too Cute by Half, I can answer that while we're looking at the cookies.
Let me see if I can
Now I'm
find that
looking for
comment.
it.
Too cute.
It started
here
with
it is. I got
exclamation
it.
point. Yeah, there.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't believe so. But I wouldn't put it past him that he is taking a leave to get his story straight. And talk to maybe a attorney and go over that with them, because he's going to have to testify. So there's nothing that he can do to get out of testifying. It's his word against Kelsey's. So whatever he thinks will help his chances. But
Yeah.
he has a lot of explaining to do in this trial.
Right.
So
Right.
It's also possible that something else happened. Maybe there was another incident since he came back on duty.
I mean, and maybe they know things that Bradle has not been given discovery for yet, too. So there's a lot of possibilities, but he's not getting out of testifying. I can tell you that.
Well, if we know anything about Massachusetts, we know that there's probably some issues with discovery being withheld.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely. I got a question for Emily. To see cookies here. I say, what cookies do you think are the best here? What would you pick if you had to recommend it?
Those M&M cookies look really good, honestly.
Yeah, I can say so myself.
Item may soften. That sounds good. Water to soften. Why is that such a warning? Like, why are you so worried about the cookies softening?
Maybe they're trying to relieve themselves of any liability in the shipping process. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe they don't put a packet of dry ice or whatever it is they do.
All of these look good.
Yeah, these look fantastic.
They do.
These look good.
Those white chocolate chip ones look good too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, for sure. Macadamia. Oh, white chip macadamia. Those are fantastic.
Did you know that there's no actual chocolate in white chocolate?
Never knew that. That's interesting.
It's basically like a sugar
butter
derivative. It's basically a sugar morsel. But yeah, there's no actual chocolate in it.
Oh, you guys, I have a pro tip. If you get your cookies and they're too soft and they're all like mushy, if you mix it up with cream cheese, and I think you probably add like a little more sugar or something, and then put it into a little ball and dip it in melted chocolate, you can make cake pops.
Oh my God.
This is cookie dough. This is cookie dough. I see. So it's raw cookie dough. Oh, I see here.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
Yeah. That's what it was. Okay.
Easier to make cake pops.
I'm still inspired, Emily, by your suggestion. I definitely want to try that. All right. And then
I gotta say,
if you'd rather just pack them individually in a lunchbox, or share them at work or something like that. Because usually if someone brings in a whole tray of cookies at my office, I'm not sure I want to take one, just because I don't know, who else's hands have been, going through it. Some people I work with bring their kids to work. So, having these individually packaged cookies for sharing at the office may give your workmates more confidence in the sanitary, in how sanitary their snack is. So it looks like, oh my goodness, a Cinnabon.
I know.
And also too, this, I love this idea. I was so excited when what's her name? I just became friends with her on Facebook. Allison, yes, my new friend. Yep. Okay. So I was very excited when she did this. I think it's fantastic. But for those who I know like are gluten-free and have a different diet that they have to stick to, they're, if you want to just donate strictly to Kelsey's fund, that is perfectly fine too. This just gives another layer to how you can donate. There's the, her Gator Boy stuff for all of their merchandise, like Britt has on. Now you have popcorn, sweets, candies, things like that, flowers, and then you can also just do straight money to the defense, and they appreciate all of it. So now you have options, which we like to bring you options.
I'm thinking that, like the cookies, I mean, it's not just like chocolate chip or white chocolate chip or oatmeal raisin, which is one of my favorites, but they got cookies and cream with Hershey's white chips also. And they say, I might get these 2 cookies right here, the cookies and cream and the cinnamon cookies. These look phenomenal. I'm trying to cut weight post holidays here. And I'm like, you know what? I might have to just bike more every day because I got to have some of these cookies. These look fantastic. And the prices aren't like, they're $25. You figure probably trying to do the math here, $12.50 of that, if I'm doing my math right, $12.50 of that would go to Kelsey's defense fund. So if you buy a couple boxes of these, it's you're helping out Kelsey at the same time, while also indulging on some sweets, which is not too bad either.
Also, just picking up on this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, we keep doing that to each other. I just wanted to add really quickly that there's the other layer to donating to Kelsey beyond the financial support is that it sends a message to McCarthy Naiman. It sends a message to Justin that there is an army of people behind Kelsey that are watching their every move, that are keeping tabs on what they're doing. It sends the message to Noonan, who might be formulating his story right now, that, I mean, if they followed anything about the Karen Reed trial, they know we are super sleuths. We're going to dig through we're going to be in Jen McCabe's heart rate at 12:22 and comparing that to what it's like at 12:41 and wondering where the 1 a.m. time for her heart rate went. We're not going to let any shenanigans go down. And I think the way that we show the army that's behind her is by donating, and for them to see oh shoot, there's a lot of people out there that are watching us.
That's right. Who has Apple Watches? Who has Aura rings like this one? I'd like to know, because we'd like to dig into it.
Yeah.
Do I need an Aura ring? I see everybody has them. I don't have anything that fancy.
If you struggle with sleep sometimes, it's been a big help.
Yes, I don't sleep, so that's fine.
Oh yeah, girl. This is great. It's great. You would like it.
So Allie asked in the chat how to order these cookies. Mazza has, you posted it in the description, the link to this shop.
Yes, it's in the description, and our mod team here could go ahead and post that link too, just for convenience, if you guys don't mind posting that in the link. Actually, I just grabbed the link myself, since I'm literally on the website, and just dump it in the chat. So let me just do that. Yeah, that'd be helpful.
Someone's asking if Justin is in here. I hope so. I hope he's taking lessons on how to be a decent human being.
Right. Oh, goodness.
Justin, I have some children's books I'd like to read to you.
Yes. You'll understand them. They're right on your level.
Yeah. Somebody skipped the golden rule day in kindergarten. And Emily can help you with that.
Yes. You might want to go back and take some of her classes. It would do you well.
All right. Mazza, do you want to look at the popcorn page? Because I know that,
saving that for
Spice of Life.
We're saving that for last. We're gonna go to candy and snacks first.
Oh,
yeah, we're gonna. Yeah.
My goodness.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh, there's more. But there's more. Looks like some purchases. Yeah, some purchases have come in because it was 4,400 on this. Now it's down to 42.
Fantastic.
Thank you. All right.
Oh
here we
my
go.
goodness.
Snacks on the go.
It looks like a snack mix. If you're a fan of the Chex snackies that have the Gardetto chips, pretzels, this is also something that you can build on for other snack recipes for game day. You can add little cubes of cheese, or mix it up with all kinds of other stuff and make a fun kind of dip, or just have it by itself. So looks like we've got some different flavors. There's the traditional, which is going to be kind of your typical, just salty, savory, cheddar cheese and honey barbecue here. I don't think I've ever tried a honey barbecue snack mix like that. My favorite typically is the bold Chex Mix that comes in like a dark gray or black bag. Which that's just really, really savory. Like there's black pepper and stuff. But we've got those there. Those look fantastic. A great way to, curb the munchies while you're watching one of Mazza's great streams. Ooh, Buffalo Ranch. Mazza, you got to add that to your cart.
Oh, yeah, you might need that one.
For sure. Yeah, as if I don't have enough buffalo already, but you know what? You can never have too much buffalo sauce, so we'll go with it. Yeah.
That's right. Oh, look at this. We have soups and dips available as well on the website. So I wonder
soup trio. That sounds good.
Let's see what kind of soups are in here.
Yeah, let's take a look. I'll go right into it for you. Let's see. Here we go. Chicken enchilada soup, tortilla soup, and taco soup. So chicken enchilada, tortilla, and taco. And it serves 6 to 8 people. Not bad at all.
I don't get it. Wait,
guys, we need.
It's soup mixes.
But how is
we're
it
200 away? 200 away from $3,000 tonight.
Wow.
Just to let everyone know. So
they're amazing.
I think we could possibly make that 200 away from 3,000.
Yeah. I got us at 2,728 with another donation just coming in right now. Let's see. I got you at $2,753. So about just under $250 away.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh my goodness, we're getting there. This is great. This is now I think this is the second highest grossing fundraiser. You know what this is? No, wait a second. The second highest one was the 7th fundraiser, which was $2,790. We're literally closing in on toppling that soon. The second fundraiser I ever did actually is the highest. It's $4,291. But this is gonna be the second highest grossing fundraiser for Kelsey Fitzsimmons we've ever done. That's awesome.
Awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
We have the most generous community here. Yeah, she does. She does.
And I'm sure that means so much to her. And I will say, even if you're not able to, like if you're in a time right now where you can't be of support financially, Kelsey needs more than just financial support. She needs help, raising awareness. She needs a community backing her. So if you can just keep the conversation going with, the people that you interact with, if you can share on your social media news about this case. Sunlight is the best disinfectant, and as far as the mainstream media is, very much like what we've seen in the Karen Reed case, it just kind of looks like nobody seems to notice and nobody seems to care. So the more the more of this type of media and social media that we can get bringing this to light, then the more mainstream media coverage that we're gonna see. So every comment, every like, every share of anything involving Kelsey Fitzsimmons that you see, and every post that you make, it helps her, and that's gonna help her case too.
Yes.
And I have a plan to try to get, as soon as the trial and it shows that is the trial date that is still accurate and they're still moving forward, I have a plan to try to get Court TV to cover this, because this needs to be covered.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, he that's one of his things is if a judge doesn't want cameras in the courtroom, why? So like he's very much on board with all that. So I've already spoken to him about this case. So any of the major hearings, which we haven't had any major hearings that would constitute them putting a camera in, but for the trial, yes. And that is part of what I'm hoping to bring with the guests that I have brought in for the fundraiser next week. Hopefully all on track to try to push that for Court TV to do the covering of this case. So
that's awesome.
Excellent. I love, Lauren, that you have such a unique angle from which you can help. You can bring your wisdom and things like that, but because you have been on Court TV multiple times, to be able to, help.
No, not Julie Grant.
Yeah, we're not a fan of Julia Grant here on this show.
No, like the good guest that they have.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just thinking too, like
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
When you were talking about social media, I would just wanted to add too, like think about how much discovery came out in Karen Reed's case because of social media, like because it got to the people that knew that Caitlin Albert and Katie McLaughlin knew each other, they were able to share pictures, or because it got to somebody who knew that Colin had been in a fight and they had Snapchat videos of it, they were able to share that with the defense. Like if we're talking about like, what are the connections between these people? Like all it has to do is reach the right person who's like, wait a second, like I have pictures of like so-and-so and so-and-so's son together. And then
that's
bing,
right.
bang, boom, they get over to the defense and there you go.
That's right. That's why it's the more people covering this case, the more people talking about this case is imperative. Like, I don't care who you are. Please talk about it, because this is about Kelsey. This is about her case. This is about her freedom and getting her baby back. So, this case doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to everyone because we want the corruption to stop. And so, if you have a voice, please use it. And it can go very far, like Emily was saying.
100%. And the Facebook group is also in the description as well. The Facebook group has a hub of information that's updated. It's updated daily with moderators, all that stuff where they share news. And that's pinned in the description as well. Mods can put that right in the chat if you're able to for our viewers here today. But if you'd like to be attached to that group, please do that. We have a lot of updates. That group is growing. It's already over 7,000 people.
Yes.
I think they just got over 7,000 recently, which is absolutely awesome. It shows that awareness is being raised. And right now, too, there's only so much of a window where we're less than 60 days or just over 60 days away from the trial beginning. Where really it's crunch time to really promote this as much as we can, and think of some other ideas. Maybe I don't know if we need to do a standout soon. Maybe we can have that discussion, but start to see if maybe that group can we can coordinate with that group on doing that, and kind of pushing the envelope a little bit more as we close it on trial, especially towards the second half of April. And whatnot as well. But this is, again, the link is here. MJ, thank you, MJ, for posting this link. This is the official Kelsey Fitzsimmons Facebook group. You see Gator Boy and many other mods that moderate that, add a lot of information. They'll also summarize trials and upcoming hearings. If you need, shortened, just quick information like that will explain everything nice and easily for you. They'll put that kind of stuff there that will break down what happened on a hearing day. And whatnot as well. And we're happy that we're able to bring our level of we've all of us have helped out Karen Reed, Turtle Boy, and want to do the same thing for Kelsey as well. And for me and many others, we didn't start doing fundraisers for Karen Reed right away. It was kind of, I don't even remember when it started. I think it might have even been after the first trial. But this was a really big thing we did during the prelude to the second trial and through the second trial. And for Kelsey Fitzsimmons, it's like something we needed to do right off the bat just to help her out. And I mean, look at the GiveSendGo. It's over $66,000 right now. It's growing quickly. It will one day get to $100,000. And like anything, GiveSendGos usually start slow, but then when they pick up pace and the news starts to get out there, suddenly, you start to see that those numbers go up more and more and more, which is great. And, we're proud about that. And again, this is always about giving everybody their highest percentage chance of success, to fight for themselves. And Kelsey really hasn't been heard. Like, I think, Lauren, you said, not too long ago on this show, and it's like Karen Reed. Karen always had to play from behind, fight from behind. The charges were on her. She had to, she had been arrested a couple of times. Same thing with Kelsey, who's done, a few stints in jail, been shot, really hasn't had any kind of legal moment to really fight for herself, other than, what Tim Bradle's done for her graciously, which is fight and speak for her on her behalf. But when you deal with the judge, it's been as rough as she's been. It's very difficult. And I'm looking forward to Kelsey having her opportunity. And I know Tim Bradle and Martha Coakley are going to put together a great defense for her and help her out as much as possible. And that's what we're here to do, whether it's one pretzel or one Cinnabon at a time. You could purchase right now on the Pop and Popcorn website.
Yes. And also too, we're also thankful that she is out of jail.
Yes.
But she went from one jail to another jail, in a sense. Like, she is not even able to go in her backyard. I mean, can you imagine that? Like, even prisoners get to go outside and feel the sunlight on their face. Like, how awful is that? She did absolutely nothing to deserve that. And so, while yes, it's better, you're with your family, you're in a clean environment and things like that, not even be able to step outside, that is another form of jail. And so, my heart just breaks for her, and she is very strong. I know she'll get through this, and she will be even more of a badass when she's, all said and done. But yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff, even coming here, talking about her, supporting her, letting her know that we believe her, that we care, we see what's going on. That is such a morale booster for her and her family. So yeah, the more that we can do that, the more, we can give her support on a lot of levels.
Yeah. And I think that's what's great about the popcorn store too, to your point, Lauren, is that this was kind of another means to raise money for Karen. And I had a few folks come to me as well and said, what about a popcorn store? And, I didn't have the time to do it, but Allison got this going, and she's been working on this and getting it going. And I'm happy for her to do this, because it's one of these things where I think the greatest success of the Karen Reed movement was many people coming together, many people contributing in different ways. And together we can all, all kind of touch on many different levels, whether it's content creators, whether it's boots on the ground, whether it's people organizing standouts, whether it's people organizing Facebook groups or whatever it is. There was a group of women I remember prior to one of the national standouts that happened for Karen Reed. It was probably like 20 women, I think, had all gotten together one night. I think I was on one of the shows live, and I think it was Rita Lombardi who was live. And she's like, oh, I'm over the house right now. And there's all these women, and they all were making signs, and they were all like, bedazzling it and all that stuff, having a great time, having pizza. It was like, it was bringing people together. But again, in many ways, people can find what they like to do. If you like to create signs, if you like to create t-shirts, go for it, do your thing. And it's amazing. Yeah. And I love, Scott McGinnis is in the chat. This man has put on, I don't even know how many hours he's clocked at outside of court, at standouts, contributing to either being on a show or in the chat. He's
a legend.
He is. Oh, for sure. The man, I always say the man deserves a medal, for all his efforts, for, they give people like awards for, Freedom Awards or whatever they're called there, medals of what do they call them? Scott deserves one of those. I'm sure Scott's probably like, I don't need no medal. You're getting a medal, Scott. You're getting a medal. Okay?
And also huge shout out to Melanie Little. She is always covering this case. Feels very strongly about Kelsey's innocence and the scumbag moves that Justin and his family are making too. So just shout out to her for always explaining, all the motions and the things that are coming in. And she's doing a lot to get all that advocacy out there for her as well.
North Shore
Mazza,
Nacho
I just
Night.
wanted to thank you for creating this platform, and I think part of why like that group of women want to get together and why we want to do standouts is because when you hear stories like this, it can feel like we have no power. It can feel like we're just kind of at the mercy of the system and we're just going along and like watching it happen. I think especially when you only get the news from like the mainstream media, it's kind of like a blip on the radar and it's like, oh shoot, like that, I wish that wasn't happening to Kelsey. And then you kind of like move on. And this really like feeds that part of us that is like, somebody needs to help. Like what is going on here? And like, this is not okay. And it gives all of us, because you created this platform, the chance to feel like we're making a little bit of an impact.
Right. It's huge, and it goes a long way too, because for these fundraisers are always like rallies. It's all of us coming together, like North Shore Nacho Night, which was mentioned. Those folks up there they've been bringing in donations for Kelsey left and right, just as they did for Karen. They get together on Monday nights. I think it's 6. I don't know the location, but they get together and every night they raise funds, and they've raised some significant funds. I think they raised over $2,000 to $3,000, maybe even $4,000 one night. It was very, very impressive what they're doing. And that's what we need, is just so many people that kind of find their gatherings and whatever that is that they do to come together and just do awesome stuff for people, because at the end of the day, I feel like nobody should ever have to do this alone. And that's what I'm thankful for too. And our number just
absolutely.
went up.
It went up, you said? Woo-hoo.
Yeah, it went up again. Yeah, it went up again to 2,888. 2,888.
Hey, can we get to 3,000? I think we can do it. I think we can do it.
We can. So one thing I wanted to point out, just kind of gleaning off what everybody said, as a woman, what I've noticed, especially with these Massachusetts cases, is in the event that a woman is accused of a crime, there almost seems to be this expectation of that female defendant to roll over, plea out, what do I need to do to keep this quiet, and not fight back. And if that woman, stands up to the justice system and says, no, I'm going to make you prove in court beyond a reasonable doubt that I did this, then the way that the accusing party responds to that is with this, vitriol, like, how dare you call us out? In a way that's different than from what I see from a man, not being guilty. Just in my observation, I mean, look at the Morrissey video, his video to the press. Would he have done something like that if, I'm so sorry, my dogs are starting to bark, but, would he have done something like that had Karen been a man? It just, I don't know what it is that they do expect from women, but, it just seems like if women in Massachusetts stand up to, their accusations and say, no, I didn't do this, and I'm going to make you, give me the due process and fair trial that I'm entitled to. They just don't seem to take it well. I'm going to mute my mic for a little bit until my dog is calmed down. I'm sorry.
They just want to advocate for Kelsey too.
That's right. I like how your dog's participating.
And they're so cute too.
They got cranberry fitness mix. They got monkey bread mix here too on this website. This is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
I used to have a coworker that made that way back when. She'd bring it in every week. It was like, okay, let me get some monkey bread. I never had it before until like 10 years ago. And she'd bring it in. I'm like, oh, this is great. This is good stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all kinds of dips, pretzels, soft
Pumpkin-
pretzels too. Serve it with like some beer cheese or mustard.
And also, I don't know if you guys have a lot of potlucks up there with your jobs, but some of these items would be fantastic for potlucks to bring into the jobs. And then that would give you an in to be like, hey, I got this from this because, and you can get into the story, which is the ultimate goal, is to bring awareness and all that.
Absolutely. I agree.
That
And
does not look like pumpkin pie. to me.
no, well, it's
No.
pumpkin
Is
pie,
it pumpkin pie cheesecake or?
pumpkin pie cheesecake. Yeah, pumpkin pie
Oh,
cheesecake.
okay.
Yeah.
The part of the banner was blocking out the.
Oh, yeah. I see what you
Oh.
mean. Oh, it was like this, like that. I see. And you're like, okay, I can't read. There we go. That's bad.
Praise
There you
God.
go. I think I might have to buy that. I was looking at that yesterday, and I was like, okay, I think I gotta try that big time.
Everything looks so good.
Guess what? We crossed 3,000. I'm getting the official total now.
There
The
we
gift code
go.
just went up like crazy. I don't know.
You
Somebody
guys are
made a
awesome.
The new
Thank
total.
you to everyone who has donated, whether it was in this fundraiser, a previous fundraiser, multiple fundraisers. Thank you all so much. I mean, it is evident that Kelsey needs it. This entire process, it's demanding. It's very, very demanding of everyone. And it's so scary too. I mean, there was a near incident not too long ago in which Kelsey's monitor had begun to malfunction or something like that, and she got a call in the middle of the night. This is something I brought up in the last fundraiser stream, and she was home, she was right there in her house, and thank God she woke up when her phone rang and answered the call. But I mean, what would have happened had she not heard her phone going off to ask, where you are? I mean, that could have resulted in them coming back to pick her up. It's just so frightening to go from, having a family, having a career, a very stable, career, and a very successful path ahead of you. You're about to get married. You're, doing well with your job. And then in a matter of basically an afternoon, you go from knowing what's happening tomorrow to you're in a helicopter, not sure if you're going to live through the night. I mean, and then and your baby is gone, and the person who you believe is about to be your husband is, not only not going to be your husband anymore, but is also the main voice behind the arm that has now stretched out and taken everything away from you. I'm sure Kelsey can only count on one hand the number of people in her circle who she trusts anymore. I mean, what friends, the so-called friends who were with her at this joint bachelor and bachelorette party, who are now, getting very bitter affidavits with whatever happened at that party. All these people that she thought that she could trust around her have all pretty much in unison turned on her in this way, to where now she can't leave her home. She can barely sleep through the night. I mean, having this dark cloud just hovering over you and wondering when the next shoe is going to drop, so to speak, is, you know, it's a fear that I would not wish on anybody. And
Well,
so
those people were not friends. You know, with friends like that, you don't need enemies. So,
no.
you know, as much as it sucks now, like, it is such a blessing that she knows who is really in her corner, who's a real friend, who has real integrity. And we know it's not Justin, and we know it's not those other people who had absolutely nothing good to say other than. And why? You know, that's another question. Why did they have nothing good to say? Yeah, I wonder if that comes out. You know, these things, people are tricky. People are in it for when it benefits them, and then they're not. So fortunately, she has some actual real friends who are ride or dies that she is getting to see and getting to talk to, and are there to support her, and that is really uplifting her, and a wonderful sister who will forever be Caden's godmother. Like, screw you, Justin. You don't own godmothers, okay? So she will always be his godmother. So she is very fortunate to have some very loyal, good friends with good moral compasses around her. So
yeah, it's great. And just, you know, having the back end or Karen Reed, I've met a few of her friends through parties, fundraiser parties, and you know, they're wonderful people. And the same thing with Kelsey. I'm starting to get the, you know, find out who they are, which is great. And these people care. They care about her because they've known her for a long time, and they don't want to see her go through this. You know, any great friend would not. And you know, they're out there to fight for her in any way, shape, or form they can. But for someone like myself, you know, when I look at like what we, you know, myself did and other people did with Karen Reed, you know, it's, you know, you start to say to yourself, geez, well, we were able to contribute and help the Karen so much to what we did. And, you know, God forbid this happens to somebody else, you know, we can turn right around and help them too. And when I heard about this case was brought to my attention, you know, I had someone contact me about this and spend quite a bit of time on this and really tell me why I needed to follow this case and, you know, why it was important to do so. And I was totally sold. I'm like, this is similar to Karen Reed. This is your typical situation of, if it could happen to Karen Reed, it could happen to anybody else. And to me, when I look at Kelsey, I'm like, this is to me another chapter in this saga of corruption, cover-ups, frame jobs where people are treated incorrectly and improperly and deserve justice. And we have an opportunity to fight for them. We can not pay attention to this, or we can. But I think subcategorically, you know, and I said this recently, no matter who you support or don't support in this fight for justice, whether you're on a side or not on a side, I think, when you categorize everybody that we're talking about, it all falls under the category of fighting for justice. That ultimately there is corruption out there, there is unfairness out there, and there are people like Kelsey Fitzsimmons who are really victimized, in my opinion, beyond just, you know, having to fight for her freedom, where she's actually been physically shot. Her child has been taken away from her. And these are uphill battles that still need to be fought going forward. And this is tragic stuff. And Kelsey has really been, you know, short of, you know, losing her life in this situation, this is about as bad as it can get. In addition to actually having to go to jail twice, actually get out of jail for a breath of fresh air, only to have the old evil queen of Essex County send you right back in there days later.
Yeah.
This is completely unfair. And, you know, for me, I don't know how, I mean, I was obviously going to be motivated because I was just starting to follow her case as soon as she got out. But as soon as she was thrown back in jail days later, like the fire just lit me so quick. It was like, that was just like, I was kind of starting to learn about it. Then as soon as she went back in, I'm like, okay, I need to look into what the hell's going on here, because this is really concerning. And you saw what the judge did and how she acted. And even when she was releasing Kelsey, you saw the way she treated Tim Bradle, knowing fair well that Tim Bradle was doing everything in accordance with the steps that he should take. He filed his appeal. He could not revoke that appeal because he wouldn't be able to refile it, and he had to let the process play out. So therefore, Kelsey had to spend time there. But she tried to put it on Bradel, which I thought was ridiculous, because ultimately Bradel did everything in accordance with the steps that he needed to do. And quite frankly, this judge should have never sent her back. It was clear that there were alternative methods that she could have used, and that judge ignored that because she wanted to be, again, the evil queen and send Kelsey back to jail. And, you know, all that does, when you have people that are in this chat right now and people that are in the Facebook group and people that are following this case, a lot of us are the most riled up people that you're ever going to find when it comes to stuff like this. We're about as intolerant that you can, of people that you can possibly find. And not only that, we're about as proactive of people that you can possibly find. And if we're going to see something like this happen to Kelsey Fitzsimmons, and she's going to be thrown around by the system, and they're going to say, oh, no, you can't see your child, and oh, we're going to charge you with whatever, this, and that, we're not going to stand for it. And you bet that we're going to take our time on a Sunday night, even if the Patriots are playing, even if it's winter time, to spend a few hours of our time fighting for this person and raising money for them. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's about backing people. And a lot of us have put our money where our mouth is and sent donations over to her. And like Britt said earlier, not only donate yourself, but even if you are able to donate or not able to donate, send the link around. Even if you don't like popcorn or something, you know, then give to the GiveSendGo. But if you like a snack too, have the popcorn. The popcorn's fantastic. I love the popcorn. But yeah, we're going to continue to do our job the best we can, help people the best we can, the way we know how. And we're going to work with everyone that shares in this mission. Lauren, Emily, Brett, this is why I have you guys on this show, not only because I love you, because you're great people, but because you also are in this fight. To all the moderators, to everyone tuning into this show, you guys are all great people. And everybody here is collectively helping. And, you know, like I said, this show's raised $3,000 tonight, not because of me, but because of the collective efforts of every single person that's coming together to put this together, to make this happen. It's a collaboration of people doing great things that care. And I'll leave it there. That was a pretty solid rant, I think.
Here. I agree.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, what he said.
Exactly. What he said. Exactly. That said.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I just, while you were talking, like, I just feel like too, like, what a disservice Justin has showed to our system. Like, this is not what these orders are for, to be used as a you know, a levering tool because you want to get ahead of the fact that you're most likely gonna not get as much visitation with your son. You know, how sneaky and just gross is that? And not only that, he has taught others. There's other males and females that have now seen that and could do the exact same thing because they've seen this poor example of a human going there and try to get a leverage on the system. And it's disgusting. Shame on you, Justin, and shame on you to the family.
I was thinking the exact same thing when you were saying that, like, Kelsey could be anybody. It's like, especially in that situation that you just described, like how many people are going to go through some type of custody battle. And if they see that this is like the blueprint, like, oh, I just have to say these like key words, like, oh, I was worried for the baby's safety. She was dangerous, without any actual like specific reasons why. And like, oh, you were so worried that you like didn't go immediately to get help or whatever. For anybody to see that that's like the blueprint and it worked, that's really scary. And I feel like that's where she really like could be anybody and could create more of these types of situations in the future.
Absolutely.
So it's good that,
yeah, it's terrible. And you know, even if you were to take everything that he said in his report, there's nothing in that report that alarm bells should be rung and you should not have any visitation with your son. And that coming from DCF, I mean, that's what pisses me off is like There is some really crappy parents, and guess what? They still have rights to see their children twice a week. And if the judge orders more, then more. So it's sickening that Kelsey, who was a cop, did nothing wrong. And because of Justin's narrative, because he's a slimy something, he is now going to have set her up to not even see her son. Like, what kind of a person are you? That's disgusting. And then to do the same to the grandparents. He wouldn't like it if Kelsey had done that to keep his parents away from them. But it's these people like that who have no empathy. They can't put themselves in other shoes. It's selfish. It's ego. It's vindictive. And that's where we're at with it. So that says so much. And if he doesn't think a judge who sees people like this in their courtroom every day isn't going to see right through his BS, he has another thing coming.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing him on the stand in Kelsey's trial.
And what a terrible precedent this sets. I mean, if you're a mother of a child under 18 years old, you mean to tell me that at any particular time someone could just go through these steps and guess what? Your child's been taken from you, for these particular reasons. Like I said, we've talked about this and it's important, but this is what I think our problem is with the system is that,
right.
Like I said, regardless of whatever they had, whatever what was between Justin and Kelsey is between them ultimately. It's their business. If they want to separate or go their separate ways, fine. But my attitude is taking them out of the equation for a moment and just looking at the process that unfolded here from a legal standpoint. This is a very scary situation because God forbid you're a mother in Massachusetts and you have a 2-month-old or a 2-year-old child or a 12-year-old child, and all of a sudden one day they say, sorry, the cops are here. We're taking your child away from you because an RO was established. This is another case that really needs to be given a lot more attention at the highest levels of this particular state. And in terms of, I would say, the governor's office, and in terms of signing certain things in the law that prohibit this kind of process from taking place. This is absolutely insane. And no matter who thinks they have the right to the child or whether there's joint custody or whatever, you just can't have people roll it up into a house. We're taking the child, come pack your things, and that's it. That is absolutely horrifying. And that's one of the biggest messages that needs to be brought into all of this is because you can't, Kelsey Fitzsimmons, for example, if this situation was done properly in terms of, I guess, just not the way it was done, this probably prohibits a situation that ends in a shooting or a potentially, as she attempted suicide. This prevents all of this. And we talked about this earlier in the show too. Why is this taking place in the home? Why haven't firearms been secured? Why is Kelsey allowed to move about the house? Why are other people such as Justin being allowed to be brought in the house? But potentially, if say, for example, she was doing what they claimed, that his life could be threatened as well. This is a situation that is absolutely sickening. But, whether or not we agree with the cops is one thing. But when this starts to go into the court of law or to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court and the court, the courts and the judges just don't bat an eye at this being in any way, shape, or form abnormal, that is extremely motherfucking scary.
Yeah.
Especially, when reviewing everything that was alleged by Justin in order for the wheels of all this to even begin turning, not only was there no evidence provided to the judge that the baby had been harmed or was in any imminent danger of harm in any way. He didn't even allege that she had done something to hurt the baby. All he said was that she said something that made him afraid. Because he used a few little key words like fear, and there are other keywords that you can use in a restraining order affidavit or application, such as let's see, unpredictable and things like that. If you use those little keywords, then you don't even have to say that anything actually happened between the person you're accusing of this and either yourself or the child or whatever. He didn't even say that she did anything to hurt him. He didn't say that she did anything to neglect him. He never missed it. I mean, you know, if we really go through this word for word, he never missed a meal. He was getting enough rest. He was being bathed and changed and cared for exactly as he should be. But all that Justin alleged was that she said something that made him afraid that she might, take him away?
She said, his quote is, she said she wanted to take him away for a long time. Okay.
Right.
And well, a long time at Target. I spent a long time at Target. Like that can be spewed in so many different directions. It's disgusting. She never threatened to hurt that baby. She is not a risk to run away. She is not a risk to the public safety for her to have been in jail. I mean, it's gross. It's a misuse of our system for people who actually need restraining orders. It is a slap in the face for people like that.
Yeah. And this puts people who actually are victims of DV or, you know, who are in any kind of a bad position in their home. It makes it harder for these people to come forward, because the more Justins that you have who are coming forward and either over embellishing and over exaggerating details in order to get whatever the desired outcome is out of that situation, how is law enforcement going to start treating everybody? You're creating a boy who cried wolf situation. It's the same with, you know, certain types of abuse allegations. We're already starting to see that. Now it's something close to an 80% statistic of those types of victims who, whether it's by a stranger or by someone they know, they do not come forward because they are afraid of how they're going to be treated by law enforcement because of all the people who have come before them who turned out to not be truthful. And
I've experienced that firsthand. You know, like I got married at 19 and about a year in was physically and emotionally abused. And I didn't want to go forward because I didn't think anyone would believe me. Yeah. This is why, because you have people like that who are crying wolf, making stuff up for their own benefit when it's not true. And so it takes everyone back, like, you know, years and years and years. And it's just such a disservice to people who actually need a restraining order.
Yeah, it's an abuse to the resources that are supposed to be there to help you and help, you know, the people around you that are in danger, that are in actual danger. Okay. I don't believe in any way, shape, or form that Justin Alain, who is 6'5", 6'6", a trained
firefighter. That's all I know. Little man.
Yeah, he's, well, you know, physically, not allegorically, but physically, a large guy, a trained firefighter, you know, someone who in his everyday setting puts off a position of being tough. Okay. I don't believe that he's actually afraid.
Absolutely not.
Little 5 foot something Kelsey Fitzsimmons.
No. And Noonan either.
Noonan.
Neither is he. Noonan was fine with being around Kelsey and being her partner every single day. You know, up until it, you know, he had something to gain from saying that she was a threat.
Yeah, he had to say that in order to save his own skin. Otherwise, he would have been fired and charged, like these people are in it for their own good. Like they have to say certain things in order to not face the consequences of their actions. And it's all been placed on Kelsey, which is so unfair and corrupt.
And then I just want to ask, like, is it typical in Massachusetts for a decision on a restraining order? Yep. Okay. Yep. Thank you. Classic Clippy. Is it typical in Massachusetts that a judge makes this kind of decision and this kind of arrangement the same day an application is filed for a restraining order?
I bet it does when your last name is Elaine and you have your friends in the system, and that's what you do for work, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, and like this is where it gets really tricky, and like what you were saying with like for people who really need, like if somebody is in imminent danger, you want them to act that quickly. And so that's where it gets really hard to make these like kind of blanket statements about like it should or it shouldn't take this longer. They should or they shouldn't talk to X number of people or do X, Y, and Z. Like if somebody is really in like an extreme amount of danger, you want them to take it this seriously. And then this is where it gets tricky of like, there has to be some type of process that does act quickly, but is able to kind of like suss out the situation by trained individuals who like know what they're, not somebody who says like, oh no, she looks fine, but like somebody who's actually trained in how to evaluate this type of situation and know what the threat is, to know what the danger is, and to be able to make a quick decision that is the right decision. And in this case, that's not what happened. It was a quick decision. It was just the wrong decision.
Right. But, on top of it being the wrong decision, which of course that's the primary concern, but, with it being the wrong decision, and then on top of that, if it was made more quickly than typical right decisions are usually made, then that concerns me, because that means that, chips were called in, if that's the case. And question for panel, does anyone know on the panel if Baby has a lawyer?
Baby does not have a lawyer. Baby does not have a lawyer.
That comment makes me picture like the baby like dressed up in a little suit, like walking into like lawyer's hand.
Oh, so cute.
If you have any questions, you can call my.
I was gonna say something I don't remember now. It'll come back to me.
We'll come back. Mullen Law says Mullen Law has been a great legal mind on Twitter as well. Has a lot of experience in family matters in terms of the court system. The family court case needs to take a back seat to the criminal case for the time being because of that. Yeah, because of the acceleration of the criminal case involved. This is, like I said, this is just a horrible situation. But I'll say this: I'm just happy she's not in jail at the very, like that was like the minimum thing that needed to be changed, was just home arrest, worst case, dealing with all this worst case. That way she can just move, it's not having to be in that facility out in Western Massachusetts. That was just a situation that needed to be amended. And as bad as it still is, she continues to heal. She continues to work with her defense team on an approach going forward as the trial, of course, is going to take its place soon. At least she can kind of work from there. But this has been a situation. I was talking about just being thrown in a 200-foot deep pit and having to climb your way out of it. I'll make a movie reference. I haven't done that yet, but The Dark Knight Rises. That's what happened to Christian Bale's character, Bruce Wayne. He was held captive and he had to climb out of this, pit that was hard to climb out of. And it took a while, but even when he got out of that pit, he still had to save Gotham City. And that's kind of how I look at this. She's climbed out of that pit of being in jail, but still there's this fight for her freedom. There's a fight for her child, and at the least joint custody. Because the custody hasn't even been determined yet, at the very least that. But this is like I said, this is an extraordinary. Bears just scored a touchdown. Sorry, folks, I trailed off. This is an extraordinary. Sorry about that. I got the game on too.
Who's winning at that game?
It was 17-10 with like a minute to go, 18 seconds to go, and the Bears just threw a big touchdown. They got to kick an extra point. My goodness.
Okay.
Yeah, I got the game on so I can monitor it.
Oh, Bears.
This is an extraordinary. This is an extraordinary case. And like I said, I just can't. I mean, it's endless. The fact that she went to jail, the fact that she was shot, the fact that she had a baby taken away, the fact that it was an RO, not a typical situation, the fact that child services was not there, the fact that a female cop was not there. It's like the Karen Reed case. It just pick the portion of this that you want to focus on, and it's more than enough to prove that it's a crazy set of circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's what we have here is Bears tied up with 18 seconds. But this is exactly what we have here. And that's what makes me so sick. And that's what kind of, for me, when I talk about certain subject matters on my program, these are the kind of things that grab my attention when you say, hey, look, this is what happened to this person. They went to jail and they were shot by a fellow member of the police department. Their kid was taken away and under circumstances that are not normal, that are not common. And this is just stuff that really makes me shake my head and say, my God. And here we go. This is the point I like to make too, is that every time I make my points, there's always somebody else that says, oh, by the way, don't forget this. And this is, Lauren, you said this earlier in the program, because that's what it was like with the Karen Reed case. I'd reel off a bunch of things that were crazy and outrageous. And every time, it never fails, someone in the comment section will always add the next thing to say, don't forget about this. And that's a great point. Don't forget about the body cams either. Add that to our lists. This is absolute madness. They had no body cams. Because just like Karen Reed, there was no ring footage. Ring footage would have put that whole thing to rest in seconds, but yet it was mysteriously missing.
Was there?
Or was there? Yeah, exactly.
In Karen's Rotten Mango interview, when she was referring to hearing voices just outside her house saying, let's do this in the back because she has cameras at her front door. I mean, that just kind of said it all for me, because they were trying to hide. They were planning, preemptively on doing something that they didn't want the public to see, that they didn't want there being any record of to refer back to. They didn't want it brought to light. So I look at it the same way with the lack of body cams, or with, certain troopers who were turning off the GPSs in their squad cars. So, they are avoiding visibility and transparency like it's the bubonic plague. And that needs to change.
Not only that, too, with just the given history of this police, was it the police chief that's been sued for the harassment?
Has. There's been at least 2 other women had in recent history. Correct. Yeah.
So
women specifically.
Yeah. So just taking that alone and this situation happen, who do you think that chief and that department is going to back? The female officer or Noonan, the male officer?
Right.
I mean, there's so many issues here in this department with how things were handled, with protocols that were not followed. And it is disgusting. And this is the case. I mean, it on so many levels, on the Justin level, on the, the trying to get the child, and then on the criminal level. I mean, it is just take your pick. Like you said, you could pull something out of a hat and all of it is messed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hope
it goes back to that.
I hope that the jury sees through everything, and that ultimately Kelsey is able to walk into probate court with a completely clean record. You know, a jury found that I, you know, was clean of all this. Give me my child and give
Almost
me
died.
my child right now. I mean, I hope she gets all the vindication that she deserves.
No jury will convict her.
No,
they will not. Dream on.
Yeah. When they find out, right? Yeah, I agree, Lauren, 100%. That's exactly how I feel. I think they're going to take this right. Yeah, they're going to go right to town with this whole trial when it comes down to it, because quite honestly, this is a situation where it's very favorable to her. And I also think that there's a lot, reasonable doubt has to be established. And I think they're going to go ahead and do that and bring that home, which is, again, establishing police protocol, establishing, taking a child and establishing that protocol. These are all things that need to be brought in. And then, the gun happens to jam. How often the guns jam? These are just things that have to run their courses. But I think there's more than enough reasonable doubt. Now, I think Karen Reed's case should have been open and shut in one trial. It should have never gone to a second trial. It should have been over a year ago. And it was not. It ended up going for a second round. And I don't want to see that happen with Kelsey. I want her to go have her trial a couple days. And there's no motivation for her to commit murder. And if, I don't think she's going to be called as a witness. Typically, they're not going to call, a defendant as a witness. But, I think that they'll have enough character witnesses if they need to have a few people say, what's Kelsey like? What's she like? What's her behavior like? What kind of mother was she? What, they're going to say great things about her. And I think that it's going to be very hard to have any character witnesses that are going to speak out. Oh, well, yeah, Kelsey drank and she got violent. It's like, how once again, that's he said, she said. We don't know that for a fact. And what we do know is she was shot. And again, she has openly admitted to postpartum depression. She has openly admitted that she turned a firearm on herself. And I think most people would say there's a chance that it's more probable than not that someone would act that way. If you look at postpartum depression, how long can that extend post-pregnancy, right? Well, how many months old was the child at the time, right? Is that within the range of that time? Okay, if that's the case, bingo. There's an argument for that right now. And then it goes back to police procedure. The police procedure was awful. There's a lot of questions that can be made. It can be raised by Bradel and Coakley. I mean, look at this. The very fact that Martha Coakley, and this is not a political statement, right? We know, member of the Democratic Party, former Attorney General here in the state of Massachusetts. Politics aside, Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter here. You have someone that's very high profile, an Attorney General that is involved in this. That is unprecedented, at least from what I understand in the state of Massachusetts, that a former Attorney General is actively, and this is the person that Maura Healey, the governor of Massachusetts, it was Martha Coakley that really helped Maura Healey get her feet wet in the state of Massachusetts and get going with her career. But when you have someone like Martha Coakley, that's like, hey, I used to be the Attorney General in this state, and I'm over here saying Kelsey Fitzsimmons is an innocent woman, and I'll tell you why. That's a huge team. That's a huge team right there. It is.
Holds weight. Yeah. And not only that, like with what you were saying, Mazza, but she went and got help for the postpartum. But at the end of the day, North Andover cleared her and gave her weapon back. So they can't have it both ways again here either. Either she was good and she was ready to take on her duties again as a police officer, or she wasn't. Either way, that's on them. So they hold so much accountability here, in my opinion. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah. It just drives me absolutely insane. Now, I want to switch gears here. Courtney Healy. Courtney Healy and Kelsey have been kind of similar to Karen Reed and Liza Little, where there's been like a great bond there. And Courtney Healy, from what I understand, has just been someone that's been right alongside Kelsey and really just, I think for two things. I think just being someone that's there for her, but also someone that has the legal mentorship that she can provide her with. Courtney has often ensured that she can watch a show just like this, or at least at the very least be updated as to what a show like this is doing for her or any other shows, which is great. So I just want to talk about Courtney Healy tonight and a little bit about your thoughts about her. I think she's been wonderful for Kelsey, and just some of your thoughts. I don't know who wants to lead. Emily, do you want to go next? I think it's been a while since you spoke.
I mean, I don't know much about their relationship, but that's really nice to hear that she, that's kind of like a, what do you call it? Like a nice dynamic on the team. Like she has her lawyers that she knows she can like count on to do the legal stuff, but then to have a paralegal that's like able to be a friend to her and then also part of the team and like knows what's going on. She doesn't have to like, because what I bet it's hard in this moment, even with her like very close friends, to keep them up to date about everything that's going on. It's like after you're like talking to your lawyers about paperwork and this and that, you don't really want to go and then like rehash it again with your best friend. It's like I want to like not think about it, but then your friend doesn't know what's going on. So to have somebody that's like in the know and also a friend is a relationship that sounds really special.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I think Courtney was somebody who was there for Aiden when he got thrown into jail as well. So it seems to be that's kind of like her role is to help and to, you know, comfort and to fill everyone in and be there and support. And I know like just as a woman in general, that probably means even more so, you know, to Kelsey. And especially when she was in jail for those 100 days, I can't imagine what that meant to her. And so that's fantastic. I mean, I am very glad she has that.
And she is Bradle's paralegal, for those wondering as well. But yeah, you'll see her out there very frequently with Bradle, Martha Coakley, as well as Kelsey during press conferences, which is fantastic. Yeah, so it's good. It's a good team, and you know, Courtney was involved, has been involved with Turtle Boy as well. His defense team with Tim Bradle, of course, is his defense attorney along with Mark Betterow. But yeah, I just like to see like the team bonding, things going well, everyone working together, fighting together. And this is a tough situation because I think these people like all the time, like there's defense attorneys out there that know for a fact that their clients are innocent. I mean, there's some defense attorneys that know that their clients probably did it when there's video footage of them driving around Miami for 6 hours evading police and finally they get bagged, you know, but they know, okay, that person's guilty. But someone like Kelsey, they're like, no, we know she's innocent. And not only that, not only is she being blamed for murder, you can't see her kid. The hits keep on coming to Kelsey. And this is an absolute dire fight. And it's good to see Courtney, you know, out there and having her back and showing her support, keeping her well informed of what's going on the outside when she was in that correction facility and keeping things going in terms of communication for her. It's fantastic stuff. And, you know, I love to see it.
I mean, we discussed this earlier, but I mean, Lord knows Kelsey, you know, needs the companionship and the genuine advocacy that I'm sure when you know, if Tim Bradle takes your case, you know, you have, you know, not just him, but a team of people who are going to be a bulldog at your side. I've seen the way that he's, you know, argued not just for, you know, for Kelsey, but for, you know, other clientele. And he, you know, he has this internal fire for his clients. He doesn't treat his cases like an assignment. You know, he treats it like it's his personal mission. And you know, his arguments, you don't just hear them, you kind of feel them too. And so yeah, I'm very, very glad that Kelsey has, you know, this type of support coming from Courtney, Tim, everybody who's helping her.
Yeah. Yeah, Tim's been great. He just he doesn't shy away from taking on these cases. I think also he has a degree of advocacy as well as being a defense attorney for just corruption-based cases where people like Aiden Carney who simply go out and report on cases end up finding themselves in jail for 60 days for some reason, because apparently that's what happens in our state, which is crazy. But Tim's been there. He's been fighting good fights. And I think that's what's kind of looking at things from two ways. I think that Kelsey you can relate to her in terms of how you relate to Karen. And with Tim Bradel, you can also relate to him in terms of how he represents Aiden Carney. We're very familiar with him. And I think a lot of us that have gotten to know him over the year or two here, since 2023, really, that we support him because this guy has fought some good fights, and I think that we've become very much interested in seeing the future cases of these attorneys we've come to know. Alan Jackson, we were all following what was going on in California when he was going to represent the son of Rob Reiner, and how that kind of did, he decided not to after a while. But, Yannetti, Alessi, we're looking to see what these attorneys are going to do next, because we've developed a certain level of fanhood for them, not in not like oh, they're so wonderful, but kind of like they did a great job. What are they doing next? Who else are they representing? And I think there's a need to want to back them up a little bit. It's almost like when you watch your favorite players when they go to another sports team, or your favorite actor when they make their next movie. It's like, well, what's their next movie? Well, I want to go see that. What's Mark Wahlberg making now? You want to go see that next movie. Same thing with Bradel. It's like, who's he representing next? And I think that's why there's a lot of interest, because Kelsey has a lot of similarities to what Karen went through. And again, Bradel, he's represented Turtle Boy, and that's his next client. So it's good stuff. So,
and you can tell he's genuinely passionate.
I want to follow Jed Welcher for the opposite side of that.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then I want you to tell me about it.
Like, how do I find out what cases he's on these days?
Right. That's funny. Emily, we need to see
star for you guys. I'll put a quarter in it every time the two of you start simultaneously, and then I'll, every time it's full, I'll donate it to Kelsey's fund.
Yes, exactly. Emily, I can't wait to see like reenactment videos of like how you do those parodies of like what goes on in court, and just it should be interesting to see what you got coming up for material once you start to see the trial unfold, to parodize some of the people on the other side.
I need a good trial. There haven't been, like, the Brian Walsh trial was so by the books that it was like, I made like 3 videos about that, but I was like hoping for more material. I need some good stuff.
Right.
And the prosecutors are actually ethical in that one, so there wasn't a whole lot for you to do.
Right.
I mean, there was Larry Tipton asking Guarino about if he watches corn. So,
oh yes,
I had some fun with that.
Yeah,
that was good. Yes,
that was a moment. It's like, oh my goodness! It's like you see these people from the other case, and they're like, oh geez, now they're being asked these questions, and he's like, oh my goodness.
Larry Tipton's like, when you open that website, and he was like, I don't look at that. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Like, nobody believes you. Nobody believes you. Yeah, your parodies are great, Emily. You do great impersonations. Like, you're some of the best. Yeah, it's just funny to see like those videos where you. Now, how long do you usually prep? Do you just kind of like say to yourself, like, do you do a lot of this from like memory, or do you maybe like watch back a clip or two before you do parodies, and then just kind of randomly do it live with just, no script, just kind of, what's it called? When you do it, what's it called?
I write
improv. Okay. Oh, you just
like, okay. So when I was doing them like every day during the Karen Reed trial, I was just kind of like taking notes throughout the day, like things that made me laugh, and then just kind of like winging it. I mean, the Karen Reed trial got so outrageous that I was just quoting the transcript. I didn't even need to like make jokes, because it was that absurd. Like the ham sandwich stuff, it was like I didn't have to add anything. I was like, wait, did you just sit there and eat your ham sandwich? Like,
or I only sent a thumbs up to acknowledge the nasty text messages that Proctor was sending. I wasn't liking them.
I was at Logan Airport. It was on it was on my Apple Watch, like as if you can't read a full text message if it's on your Apple Watch.
Right. I was just
sir.
acknowledging that he sent it.
Right. So I saw someone say that we were $5 away from 4K. Is that true?
We're at 3,643.
Okay, I got really excited.
No, my all-time fundraising total, our all-time fundraising total through this show is at 18,972 through 9 fundraisers. 18,972. We are $28 away from $19,000 between all
that's
the,
amazing.
That's it. I'll put it down. It's 9 fundraiser total right now. Is 18,000.
If everyone just donates a couple bucks, $5, then that adds up and it really makes a difference.
Yeah. That's crazy right there. 18,972.
I'm gonna do it now.
Yeah. We had the only one the lowest one I have is 345, but that was like an impromptu solo unannounced one. It was like a quick 1 hour one, but that was good. It contributed some funds, and it adds up. It's incredible what we can do here to help someone out. So it's great. I always like the one. I like mathematics a lot, so I like totals. I like to keep track of numbers and all that stuff. So
would you maybe want to do the mathematics for mine on Friday?
It's good. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, I'll do that.
Mathematics.
So I have a whole Google spreadsheet system, and it keeps track of every fundraiser I've done. And I have all kinds of numbers that I have a systemized calculator that I can just calculate everything really quick. So all I do is I just grab 1 second. I'll show you. We'll show you what I got behind the scenes. This is behind the curtain look right here. Yeah. So here we go. This is behind the scenes right here. So this is what goes on in the background throughout the night. And I have all the totals. So I count the GiveSendGo total at 7 o'clock, and I put that total in. Then throughout the night, all I do is I update that next line, the GiveSend total now, the 67,415. And every time I update that second line, it updates the raise tonight total, which gives us that total. Then on the side, I just add in my my other fundraisers I've done. Then I got all these other tabs, like how much we raised for the last one was 1675. This is the old version of how it used to. This is how it used to look. I used to actually just take every donation and plug it in here, and it would do a total. But I don't do that anymore because it just takes too much. It's just too much to follow all night long. I'm like, why don't we just start with the total that it is at the beginning of the night? We'll just take whatever it is, and there's our total for the night. So I kind of keep it simple like that.
That's awesome.
That is great.
So, yeah, it's good. It's all colorized and everything and all that. So I wish I could put this in a non not having all the header and bottom border here and just have it more up on the screen. But yeah, that's how I do it. So I'll just go to the website like this. Let me see if there's an update. I'll do it live if I can. Let's see. Yep, here's the one. So watch this. So I go to the website. I grab the total. Now I'm going to go in the background here. I go right in just like that. Highlight it. Control V. Now the number's in. Now when I click it, watch the race tonight's going to change. Here it comes. Bingo. 3,668. That's the trick. That's how I keep it so quick in the background.
I love it. That's awesome.
That's good to hear. So yeah, that's good. And Britt Happens is working on another donation right now. She's right there. There she is, live on screen.
I just have to get my card because I don't remember the CD code. 1 second.
I was doing mine right as the show started. I'm a minute before the show, I'm in there typing in my card and everything. I'm typing it in. And I'm like, okay, here we go. I'm gonna do this right before the show starts. I don't want to do it too soon, but I'm like, there we go. Donation in. So I'm happy to donate. I'm happy to help. So it's any way we can help someone. It's great news. So back to the popcorn store. Does everybody have any more time? Does anybody need to go right now or roll? It's up to you if you guys.
I need to run in.
A couple more minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I need to run and get some more water, and then I can be right back.
Sure. I'll take a look
that
at
question. Classic Clippy was just asking in the chat if people had to memorize the Bill of Rights. We didn't have to do the Bill of Rights, but we did all the Schoolhouse Rock ones, like the preamble to the Constitution and that stuff.
Yeah.
It was just a fun conversation. I like when the chat just starts chatting.
Yeah. Eighth grade. I think we had to learn all that stuff. It was like the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, the Schoolhouse Rock videos would be playing, and you learn about the 3 branches of government and all that good stuff. It's
be the people in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution.
Wow.
Oh, I remember.
Wow.
For the United States of America.
Oh, seize the days quoting the "I'm just a bill, yes, I'm only a bill."
And I'm sitting here. Yeah.
On my little hill. Oh, I remember all of them. That's funny.
Yeah.
It kind of keeps you from forgetting it by pairing things to music. I remember in middle school, there was a very, very long poem that my literature class was making us memorize. And I mean, it was not a fill in the blank. Like for the test, you just took out a blank sheet of notebook paper and you had to write the whole thing stanza for stanza and line for line. And so I put the words of that poem to some of the music from Pirates of the Caribbean because the syllables somewhat worked, and I had it. It helped. And it was also luckily a very long Pirates of the Caribbean song because that was a big fat poem.
It's funny.
Oh, I'm hearing touchdown Rams.
Yeah, I heard he dropped the ball just now. They're going to kick a field goal to win it right now. What was I going to say? Oh, the popcorn. Oh, go ahead, Britt.
Oh, so I have to go eat. It's a weeknight too. So I really appreciate you having me on again.
Yeah.
Mazza, I did get my donation in. I wanted to make sure I did it before the end.
Perfect.
And thank you, Emily. It was great seeing you and getting
great
to talk
to see
with
you
again.
too. Yeah, this was so much fun.
And whenever Lauren gets back, just give her my love. And I will see you all, I guess, on the next big charge for Kelsey support. And thank you to everybody who contributed. It takes a village or it takes a nation in these types of situations where someone's being railroaded and staring down the machine. So but it was great getting to see all of you again, and I hope you have a fabulous night. And Kelsey, if you're still watching, take a deep breath, stay strong, and keep pissing them off. We'll be here making sure that you're not alone through all this.
Absolutely. Britt, thank you so much for coming on this show. We love you here. Hi, and we'll have you back for future ones. I can't wait to reach out to you again about the 10th. It'll be the 10th fundraiser here on this show. And I'm going to wrap it up with the
bye, Lauren.
Bye,
Britt. Thanks, Mazza. Have a good one.
Take care. Good seeing you. Have a good one. Stay warm down in Florida, huh?
I'll try.
Emily, I'll just go to you next with some of your final thoughts before we wrap up the panel portion.
I kept thinking when we were talking about Kelsey of that quote that's like, tough times don't last, tough people do.
Yeah.
Like this, I'm sure for her in this moment, it kind of feels like she has a huge mountain to climb and so much in front of her, and it can probably feel really overwhelming. But she has such a great team of people that are not going to let her ever be alone in this. And eventually this will be in the past and she will be free of all of this and the truth will come out and she'll be able to tell her story. And I just hope she knows like how much we are on her side.
Absolutely. It's absolutely true. It's just the support for her is unbelievable. And it's continuing to grow, which is awesome.
Yes.
Fantastic.
It's a very compelling story too. It's like, it's the kind of story that your first kind of reaction is like, I must be missing something, like something else, like tell me the rest, tell me the other part that like you're leaving out, and then you're like, wait, there's not another part, and like she went to jail and then like went to jail again. Like, no, this is not okay. And it's a very clear, like, this is wrong.
And what's interesting too is that,
chat.
yeah, Kelsey can only, like with Karen Reed, like we're hearing Karen now starting to reveal more and more now that she's post-trial. And with Kelsey, like there's only, like when she comes out for a press conference, the attorneys will say, only say this much, and then they'll take a lot of the answering off her because they don't want her to speak, because she can only say so much because of the, the legality of everything that's going on. So it's very like sheltered. But then usually during the trial, you hear about a lot of stuff that you never knew before. But then afterwards, like you hear with Karen now when she's doing these interviews, it's all this other stuff that just she says and comes out with. And I'm interested in seeing what Kelsey will have to say as time goes on, because it's a very sad story to see what's happened to her and to her child, to say the least.
I'm going to take off, but thank you so much for having me. This was very inspiring.
No problem, Emily. Emily C, ladies and gentlemen, follow her on X, follow her on YouTube. Great YouTuber, great person on X. You're awesome, Emily. Thank you so much.
Yeah. You're awesome, Mazza. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you. You're welcome. Have a good night. Emily C, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So, Lauren, we're going to give you your final thoughts, but also we want to give you some opportunity here because we're transitioning into the next Kelsey fundraiser, which is going to be on your channel on Friday night at 7:00, correct?
Yes.
And I'll be there.
Yes. So my channel's small, but I'm going to have quite a few guests that have some bigger platforms, and I'm hoping to get some new eyes on it too. I have a female law enforcement or ex-law enforcement officer that's going to come and join us and talk about procedures and how difficult sometimes being a female officer can be. And then also possibly an attorney, obviously Mazza, and Nurse Kim is going to join us to be able to go over all of her injuries and things like that, and just give all of her insight because she's amazing. And then possibly another private investigator. So we will see, but we should have a good little crew there. And my channel is Common Sense Investigator. And come on over and set the little bell thing so you don't miss it. But it should be Friday at 7 p.m. So
and the mods, I don't know if the mods could help out with just getting a link to her show. I am going to also be promoting your show heavily on my channel as well, so that way we get as much, through the MazzaMedia Twitter and all that. Maybe I can even share it on YouTube just to make sure it's, just to make sure you had as much. I want to get you as many eyes on your product as possible for the show, because this is going to be huge to raise money. Yeah, and I know, like I said, your channel is just starting to get going, and those are usually the toughest times to get the viewership is early on. Until you start to get the subs and all that. I think we promoted your show recently. We help get your subs, promoted. So we'll continue to do that, help you out, because you've done a great job for advocating for Kelsey and helping us out. I think you've been on just about every show, I think, that we've done here for Kelsey, and I appreciate your help and your contribution.
I appreciate you asking, because this is a case I'm very passionate about, and it pisses me off. And I know we're both like fired up about this one. So.
And then, what's interesting is you've had the least amount of feline interference of any show I think you've ever been on here. Usually the cat walks by, you see like the tail, and you just act like you're like, that didn't happen.
I'll show you why.
Okay. Oh, okay.
They're sleeping.
Oh, yeah. Cold. Yeah. That's funny. Oh, my goodness.
They were sleeping right here, so they weren't talking too much.
They're out cold this time. Like, this is a good time to do the show on a Sunday night. The cats just want to sleep. You're not going to be interrupted too much. The cats aren't going to walk by and knock your microphone over or anything. And looks like we have some people that are just donating, just subs.
Thank you.
Nice comment for you right here as well. Someone said it's great. We're doing what we can. And like I said, I think that when you do fundraisers, it's great to have them on our own channel, but it's also even better when other channels are doing it too. Because that's also, because like I said, I can only do this every so often. And then if someone else is doing it, that's great, because then that channel can help contribute to the whole. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much our fundraiser brings in, it is all going to Kelsey at the end of the day. And people are telling us that I think like $1,000 came in on Poppin' Popcorn tonight. So I guess it was the goal was about, I think it was at 4,400 to go, and now it's at 3,687 to go. So I guess about $800 came in there, I think.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Continuing to just push everything forward here and get that moving for her. And like I said, raising, it's just amazing how much these numbers just help out. These attorneys are not cheap.
No, and she's got multiple attorneys. So like it's just and then she's gonna need experts at her trial. I mean, she has a hard fight in front of her, and every bit helps. So these fundraisers like you've been doing, Mazza, like they really, really help. And also just to boost her morale and her family's morale, like they're just awesome. So thank you so much for always asking me to be a part of it. It's always an honor. So
yes. Absolutely. It's an honor as well, Lauren. I appreciate it. Just the things you bring to this channel as well, and your expertise, the things you know about, it just helps contribute to this. It's been awesome. And I'm just so thankful for you. And we'll get together on Friday and we'll raise more money for Kelsey, and I'll take care of your number tallying. No problem. I got the spreadsheet.
Yay. Because I'm not a math girl at all. So that would be amazing.
Yeah, you're getting subscribers too, which is great. And
good. Thank you, everyone.
I'm going to be live for a little bit longer. I'm going to be talking football, but the fundraiser is still going to continue. But if you want to come back and just drop your link in there later on, I can promote that for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely do that. Thank you so much, Mazza. Thank you guys for donating. And we will see you Friday. And we will, if Kelsey's still watching, love you, girl. You got this. It's going to go by, and you're going to be so much stronger and wiser. And you're going to come out ahead, and that baby is going to love you so much, and you're going to be an even better mom than you even knew you could be. So we got you. We're here from, till the end. And we got you. So
absolutely.
All right,
guys. Lauren, thank you so much. Private investigator Lauren Katie. That's her YouTube channel right there, linked on the screen. And she will be doing her own show Friday night, 7:00. I'll be there. Nurse Kim will be there. And the fundraiser is not over yet. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk football for a bit, so I can get the football discussion in tonight. But the fundraiser is still going to continue. So we're still going to collect funds. It's going to be a topic change. But we're talking Patriots in about a moment here. So 1 second. I get water. Go drink of water. I'll get into the total calculation. We'll leave it on a little bit longer, just to get maybe another 10, 15, 20 minutes of talking here for football, and then we'll close up the final total for her right now. We're about $147 away from $4,000 off of the GiveSendGo tonight, which is fantastic news. So, all right, we will talk some football here. Let's do it. So the Rams just defeated the Chicago Bears. So the Final Four in football is the Patriots playing in Denver next week, and then the Rams are taking on their division opponents in the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks. If the Patriots win next week, they will be in a rematch of Super Bowls 36 and 53 against the Rams. And I thought I had that set another way. 1 second. I'll see what it says. I had to reset something earlier tonight because of the I had to update the Amazon links. I don't know what the video ended up doing. Let me see what it says. We will take a look. I'm going to edit the video and see what this is. Edit video. No, it's fine. I think everything's fine from what I see. Okay, so the Patriots are taking on the Broncos next week. And if they win that game, it's a Super Bowl 36 and 53 rematch against the Rams. And it's a one sec, sorry, it's doing some backstage stuff. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, we're good to go. And then it's a Super Bowl 49 rematch from 11 years ago between the Patriots and the Seahawks. The Broncos, if they win and they play the Seahawks, that's a rematch of Super Bowl 48, in which the Seahawks trounced the Broncos 43-8 when the Legion of Boom beat Peyton Manning and the 2013 Denver Broncos. So there's a lot going on here in terms of rematches. The only unique Super Bowl, I think, would be the Rams and the Broncos. I think that's the only Super Bowl matchup that wouldn't be a rematch. So that's going to be very interesting. The Patriots, I'm telling you right now, we just got another donation in for Kelsey. So we're at 3,878 right now. 3,878. I'll get you the total right now. Someone just asked. 3,878. And there we go. That's our latest total right there. All right. 3,878. We'll leave that up for a minute or two. So, yeah, the Patriots, I think, here's the thing. Bo Nix went down last night for the Broncos. He has a broken ankle. He's out for the year. Oh, we'll talk college football tomorrow. That college football game is going to be interesting tomorrow night. He's got a broken ankle. So Bo Nix has been a great quarterback for them so far this year. The Broncos have been ahead of the Patriots by one step all year long. They had the home field advantage. And now we're looking at a situation where the Patriots are traveling out to Denver to take on their former backup quarterback, Jarrett Stidham. Jarrett Stidham was a backup quarterback when Tom Brady still played for the Patriots. I think it was his rookie year as a backup was when Brady was in his last year here, if I recall correctly. I think he backed up Cam Newton. But with Bo Nix out, the Broncos have one of the top defenses in the NFL. But here's the thing. The Patriots have just defeated two of the top defenses in the league in back-to-back weeks. The Chargers were the 5th-ranked defense, and the Texans are the best defense in the entire league. So the Patriots have gotten through those defenses. We scored quite a bit of points tonight. What was it, 28 points tonight that we scored, whatever it was? They scored quite a bit of points tonight. It was an ongoing battle, of course, but the Patriots, even with 3 turnovers, still had a pretty solid night of points in scoring, which was fantastic. But their defense had numerous takeaways that we got up to 28-16 tonight. So we're looking good on both sides of the ball. I mean, our defense, think about this. If it wasn't for our defense, we would have lost that game. But I thought the Patriots defense was better than the Texans. I was proven right because the Texans took on the Patriots defense, which is apparently not as good as the Patriots defense, right? So the Patriots outperformed the Texans offense. And the Patriots defense proved that they're just as good as any defense in the league. They proved it. Justin Herbert was hurt. Don't get me wrong, last week on the Chargers, but they went up against C.J. Stroud, who's a pretty solid kid. We're closing in on 4,000. Let me get you the new total. But the Patriots defense today, look at how they performed. They took on an offense. Yeah, Nico Collins was hurt. Don't get me wrong, but the Patriots still performed. Christian Kirk's a pretty solid wide receiver. He had a touchdown for the Texans today. Their defense is awesome. We got through them. As much as they beat up our offense, we got through them. They had a couple Pro Bowls. We got through them. We scored. We still got the points. Our defense had a pick 6, 4 interceptions, 1 fumble recovery. It was awesome. Oh, we're gonna get the 4,000 tonight. We're gonna get Kelsey 4,000 tonight. We're not leaving until we do. We just got another $10 on. So make that 953. That just came in. Let's get this going here. Yeah, thank you. New total 9,000. Excuse me, 3,000. 3,953. We're getting to 4,000 tonight, folks. Getting there. $150 donation will do it, or two $25 donations will do it. We're getting there. I'll check that in another minute. But yeah, the Patriots I think the thing that's great about the Patriots is they're like, a lot of the Patriots teams that have won the Super Bowl over the years have had balance on both sides of the ball. They've had their Tom Brady teams with Tom Brady, some good offensive weapons, but they've had teams with great defenses. And I thought like the 04 team in the 2014 and 2016 teams and 2018 teams were a good balance of everything. You know, like the first team that won the Super Bowl the first time, they didn't really have the offense in 01, but they had the great defense. 03, they had a great defense, but their offense was starting to get better. And then in 04, the Patriots' offense was even better, and they still had the great defense. So they got it done when they had balance. And I think that's the thing when I look at the Patriots. We got another $20 donation in. We're getting there. Let's see how far we are now. We are now $27 away. $27 away. We're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Let me get this updated. 3,973. All right, there we are. So let's check this again. Okay. All right, so we're closing in $27 away from 4,000. This is great. What a night. What a night. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, May's still getting experience. He's playing really well. His passing's fantastic, and I think they have enough offense. I do. I think their running game tonight, Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson, you have the running back talent. You saw what they did late in the game today. When they were up 28-16, they had the ball. It was about 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They ran 6 minutes off that clock through their running game, and a great pass by Drake May to Stephon Diggs, which was fantastic. And they have that ability. You know, Hunter Henry, is he Gronk? No. But he's a consistent tight end. You have Cooper, consistent tight end. You have an offensive line that just took on the Chargers and the Texans defense. Yeah, Will Campbell got beat by Anderson there once or twice for a sack. Whoop-de-doo. He's a rookie, and he did pretty well otherwise. Not too bad of a job. I think we got the number. Let's see. $4,008. New total is $4,008. We got that. The highest ever, our highest ever fundraiser for Kelsey Fitzsimmons was October 11th. We raised $4,291. So we're not too, we have to raise another $283 to hit the total record. It would be a record breaker tonight if we got over. So we need 4,292 to break our record for the single highest fundraiser. This is crazy. Crazy awesome, I mean. That's great. That's absolutely fantastic, folks. Another donation just came in. Adding in another $17. That gets us to $4,025. $4,025. That's fantastic. Yeah, so the record is 4,291. That's the highest we've ever got. So we'll stay on for a bit. We'll see what we can accomplish here. If anybody's interested in donating. You know, technically, though, I think we broke it because if we count the popcorn store, we destroyed it. You know, with the we beat that goal with the popcorn store because I think the estimate was like $800. So we're close to like a $5,000 show tonight. You know, I got to say, that's awesome. You know, that's awesome. We're helping her out big time. And this not only proves that people are willing to donate, it just proves that there's just more eyes on this whole thing now, that there's more and more interest in her case, that we're starting to kind of get people to learn about this. You know, there's more eyes on this thing now, and that's when this is really starting to take effect here. So this is huge. This is absolutely huge, what we're doing here. So I'll get back to the GiveSendGo one more time. Okay, and I'll wait for a couple minutes. All right, we'll let that sit for a couple minutes. Let's talk football for a bit. Then we'll get an update on the total in a little bit. Now we're over 4,000. But like I said, I think that the Patriots have enough to win the Super Bowl. I do. Because I think that, you know, they have a complete team. And I didn't think the Texans had a complete team. I was talking with a couple of my friends. We were talking about this during the week, and my buddy's like, man, the Texans defense is really, really good. And I immediately said, yeah, you're right. But the Chargers defense was really, really good too. And technically, we scored 21 offensive points tonight. We scored 17 offensive points against the Chargers, I believe. So we scored a little bit more against the Texans defense today in weather conditions. Let's not forget there were weather conditions out there. And then 7 of our points was the Marcus Jones epic interception today, which had me going nuts. I love that so much, that interception. That pick 6 was great. The way it bobbles and he catches it and he goes in was fantastic. But they do a great job, this team. You know, and I think the thing about their defense is they have a great defensive line. I mean, Milton Williams and Christian Barmore are absolutely fantastic on that defensive line. You saw Tonga, you know, have a big sack tonight, which was great. Love that. Love to see that. And it was outstanding. And sorry, I was burping here, drinking this seltzer. And then your linebackers, you know, you got a good linebacking crew there. You know, a lot of guys that are getting the job done throughout the game. And then your secondary, Marcus Jones, Christian Gonzalez. You know, Davis got burned a couple of times today, but oh, well, it happens. But they did a good job. I just thought the team has enough talent. I do. I understand that the Broncos have been a good team all year long. And I understand the Seahawks beat up the Rams a couple of weeks ago and could likely be the automatic bid for the NFC. I mean, right now, I mean, if you're an odds maker, I'd have to say the Patriots and the Seahawks are your favorites for 2 reasons. Number one, the Seahawks beat the Rams decisively the last time they played them. And number 2, the Patriots are taking on a Broncos team that does not have Bo Nix right now. And I think that hurts the Broncos big time, because even if the Broncos have a pretty good defensive performance next week, and I expect the Broncos defense to perform very well next week, we're at 4,050 right now. I think that updating this number, sorry. I think that even if the Broncos defense is as good as the Texans, as good as the Chargers, and even better, the question becomes, without Bo Nix, how well can Jarrett Stidham perform? He's been a career backup his whole career, and I don't know what he can do. You know, I don't know what he can do. He was all right as a backup here. I don't know how he's developed since. I haven't followed along. I may have Bob Brown. I'm not sure if I saw the one you're talking about. Because of the show, I might have missed it. I kind of looked over every now and then. I was like, let's see what we got. NBC is hosting the Super Bowl this year, so we got to listen to Chris Collinsworth all night on the Super Bowl. Well, there's a guy right there that knows how to make a catch. That's all he talks about all night long, that guy, Collinsworth. Yeah, it'll be good. But, yeah, I think that the offense of the Broncos, that's the thing. Going into today's game, even against the Chargers, when Justin Herbert had the broken hand, when C.J. Stroud didn't have Nico Collins, but their offense struggled against the Steelers on Monday Night Football, right? That was a big thing Monday night. That Texans offense struggled against that Steelers defense all night long. And that Steelers defense was not as good as our defense at all in any way, shape, or form. And you look at them comparatively, I'm like, if they're going to struggle against the Steelers defense, then what's going to happen when they play the Patriots defense? And tonight, what did you see? 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions. And not only that, let's be really honest here. C.J. Stroud probably could have thrown another 3 or 4 interceptions if you look at some of those passes. A lot of those other passes were obviously very close to being picked off. And he could have had like 7 or 8 interceptions throughout that game, but he did not. So that was something that was like, man, even before he threw that first pick, there were like 3 passes that happened. Like, oh, they almost had that. Oh, they almost had that. Oh, they almost intercepted that. But it never happened. And eventually they did. And then they ended up having 4 interceptions. So it was a great night for the defense. And again, I think that the Patriots defense is I'm not saying they're carrying the team, but these other teams, these other opponents can't get through our defense. And then our offenses are taking on these other great defenses, and they're doing whatever they need to do to win that game. And that's exactly what happened against the Chargers last week. That's exactly what happened against the Texans today. They struggled and struggled and struggled. But then all of a sudden, there's the booty pass in the end zone where he scoops the ball and comes right in, makes an epic catch. It was absolutely fantastic. And it was unbelievable. It really was. It was an absolutely incredible catch. And once it was 28-16, I'm like, okay, good. Now let's make one more stop. And then Empfetter's great point. We're going to get to that. It was a great catch. And then after that, I'm like, okay, let's make a great stop. Let's get the ball back. And I'm like yelling at the screen, just run the ball, run the clock, get first downs. And I didn't think they were going to get more than one first down. They ended up getting like 3 of them. Once they did that, they got the job done. Now, M. Fetters brings up a good point. Let's talk about that. The last 3 times the Patriots have played in Denver in the postseason, they have lost. In the 2005 season, in January of 2006, the Patriots, coming off 2 Super Bowl victories in a row, in Super Bowl 38 against the Panthers and Super Bowl 39 against the Eagles, were attempting to three-peat as champions. This was the famous year where Bruschi had the stroke and didn't come back till mid-season. The Patriots made their way out to Denver on a Saturday night game against Jake Plummer and Champ Bailey. This was the famous game where Champ Bailey intercepts the ball. Ben Watson runs down the length of the field and knocks him out of bounds right before he scored a touchdown. Patriots lost that game in Denver. Additionally, and more notably, the Patriots lost 2 AFC championships to the Denver Broncos and Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning won the AFC championship in 2013 with one of the greatest offenses in NFL history, only to go to the Super Bowl and lose to the Seattle Seahawks in a tremendous blowout. 2 years later, the year before the Patriots having won Super Bowl 49 against the Seahawks, the Patriots returned to Denver with a much better team and gave a much better fight. And in fact, if maybe they'd kicked a few field goals on some of those drives, sorry, a little tired here, kicked a few field goals later in that game, they might have actually won that game, but they came close. And unfortunately, they lost by about 2 points. I think they failed to get a 2-point conversion. And ultimately, the Denver Broncos went to the Super Bowl this time and won the Super Bowl. So the Patriots are 0-3 this century in Denver in the playoffs. Now, the Denver Broncos offense in 2015 was not anywhere as good as it was in 2013. In 2013, Peyton Manning had a career year. I believe he re-obtained his touchdown record that year. And 2 years later, Peyton Manning was not the same quarterback anymore. He had that neck or shoulder injury there. And when he did win the Super Bowl against the Panthers, was not the offensive player that he had been 2 years before, at probably his absolute best 2 years before, not counting his Colts years. So that was a situation where I thought the Patriots could win. But the problem was that the Broncos defense 2 years earlier was not as good as it was 2 years later in 2015, where they had guys like DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller and a great level of talent. When they went to the Super Bowl against the Panthers, they ended up taking down Cam Newton and a team that was a very good Panthers team. So Mile High Stadium is a pain in the neck. It's an elevation issue. The Patriots have long struggled up there. I remember a Monday Night Football game in the 2003 season. That was the famous game where Belichick took the intentional safety in the back of the end zone. Then the Patriots made the stop. Then the Patriots ended up beating the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football, which was great. So that was a win, but it was a tough win. And the Patriots struggled a lot against Denver over the years. So Mile High Stadium can be a pain in the neck. Now, it didn't affect the Bills, in my opinion. I thought the Bills, even though the Bills lost, I didn't think the Bills were as good as they had been in previous seasons, quite honestly. They don't have Stephon Diggs anymore. He's on the Patriots. And I felt that the Bills gave a good fight because the Bills have a lot of playoff experience and they scored quite a bit. So I think that the Patriots could could really do something next week. I really think so. I think that even though Mile High Stadium is going to be a pain in the neck from an altitude level, and their defense in Denver is going to be very hard to deal with, I think the Patriots have dealt with. The only thing I have to say is that we're not going to have the home crowd, which is something I wish we had. We lost the game to the Raiders and Steelers. And we should have won one of those games or maybe both. But it's tough to it's very tough to see them go out there on the road. But they could win it because the Patriots this year have been a very good road team. I think this is a great suggestion right here. I think that's a fantastic suggestion. Maybe that's what they should do. Maybe they should get out there a day or two earlier. Let the altitude, adjust the altitude a little bit. And what's interesting about this game is these two teams have not played each other this year. The Texans and Patriots did not play each other this year. And I thought the Texans and Patriots struggled at times against one another. They really did. They truly did. So that's always an issue. Very much so. So we'll see. We can see what they can do, but there's some options. I'm looking at the fundraiser. No updates. There hasn't been a donation in a bit. So if you guys want to make another donation, please do. Let's make sure that the message is on the screen here. But yeah, I think they can pull this off. I do. I feel like this team, comparatively feels a lot like, thank you, Rhonda. We did pretty good. We're over 4,000. So we're over 4,000 right now. So we got $4,050. The popcorn store looks like it brought in about $800 tonight. So we're looking, maybe we got 4,800 combined, which is pretty good. I mean, that's really good. This is the second highest from GiveSendGo only. This is the second highest donation night we've had for Kelsey since in the 9 that we've done it on this show, which is great. That's fantastic. That's just unbelievable, to say the least. A $4,000 night for Kelsey is fantastic. That's helping out. It's helping out. It's taking care of expenses. It's taking care of a lot for her. So it's just great what we can do. It's the power of people in full effect. But yeah, I think the Patriots have a very good shot at winning this game. I think if they just, again, I don't think they need to do anything special. I think that what we've seen out of the Patriots offense and defense for 2 weeks is that, so that's what people are saying. A lot of people are counting the popcorn too. I'm thinking the estimate was about 800 over there. So maybe we're at like 4,850. I only typically count the GiveSendGo on the show, but hey, if we get another 800 for her out of that, that's awesome news. That's awesome. It's a great night. And we had great guests, obviously, tonight. Emily C., Lauren, Katie, Britt Happens. Nurse Kim was here tonight. Nurse Kim helped out quite a bit tonight. Again, Nurse Kim has just been awesome for everyone, and everyone's been awesome for everyone. So I'm happy to have, a great panel, people just getting the word out, raising awareness. I'm sure there's a lot of new people. That's the one thing with Karen Reed's case. There was always an influx of new people every week. There was new people, and people are tuning into this for the first time. That's great. If we have first-time donors for tonight, that's great too. It's awesome. And that's just the biggest thing about all this is raising awareness, boosting her funds, helping her out financially. You take the financial burden off her the way we did Karen. It's a huge thing. And that's what we want to do. We want to help, and helping financially is big. I think that's the biggest thing we can do. North Shore Nacho Night. I hope they're back tomorrow night. Hopefully, if they're going tomorrow night, hopefully they can do something too. They usually do. If they can help, that's great. Like I said, there was 1 week where I did a fundraiser, and North Shore Nacho Night did a fundraiser on a Monday night. I don't know what numbers we both did, but nonetheless, you take both those numbers and combine them. If I do a fundraiser on a Saturday or Sunday, then the North Shore Nacho Night crew comes in. They do it a big night. You take those totals and add them together. It's awesome. You're hitting the numbers at 2 different levels: a content show, and then a live show, and then an in-group function. It's awesome stuff. I mean, it really, really is. So it's just, it's great what people can do. And I think that's why it's so important to continue to expand. There was a woman that called this show, and when I took calls one time, and she said to me, she was worried because she said, we're always giving all the time. We're always giving. It's the same people giving money over and over and over again. She said she was concerned about it. And she says, what can we do? And I said, well, what we can do is raise awareness, right? Continue to get more people to follow this, right? The more people that follow this will come into this and make a donation to Karen Reed. And I think it's the same attitude with Kelsey. Like when we have a Facebook group that starts off with an initial amount of people, at some point it was 100 people, it grew to 1,000. Now it's over 7,000 people and growing. That's huge stuff. That's huge stuff. That matters a lot. It really, really does. So we'll continue to raise awareness and doing whatever we can. I don't think they have Venmo available. I don't think they have Venmo. But the more people we get to find out about this is the more people that will give money and donate and help Kelsey out. This is why, like, when you look at the GiveSendGos and the Facebook group numbers, initially they start kind of like this. But as it kind of builds, all of a sudden it's like the Facebook group numbers and subscribers start to go up really, really quick. All of a sudden the GiveSendGo that might have taken a while to get to the first 10,000 suddenly gets to 20,000 quicker than it did 10,000 and 30,000 quick and 40, all of a sudden, next thing you know, it's going, it starts to just go up, which is great. So that's kind of it's called momentum, right? So the momentum starts slow. It's like a train's wheels. It starts slow, then once it starts getting going, it builds up that steam, and that's what I think about raising awareness does, is the more people you get interested in this or learn about this, that creates the momentum, that creates the interest. And that's the same thing that happened with Karen Reed. When you look at the initial interest, it was only so big, and then it hasn't picked up steam. It got bigger, bigger, bigger. Next thing you know, it starts up with 5 or 6 people holding signs in 2024 or 2023. And then by 2025, they have to shut down the streets. So that's what we're looking at. We're trying to build. Now, I just think that that's what we need to do is continue to build. Tell your friends. I think one of the biggest things we can do is talk to fellow Turtle Boy and Karen Reed supporters. Talk to those people. Tell them about it. If there's any Karen Reed supporter out there, tell them about it, because those are our people that were very much a part of what we were a part of and what we did. And if we can continue to build this audience up for Kelsey and say, hey, I'm going to tell you why Kelsey's similar to Karen. I'm going to tell you why Kelsey's similar to John O'Keefe, a police officer essentially up against other cops. I think that's a huge thing that we can do, and we can bring that together for her. And I think that's going to be awesome. So we'll continue to do what we can for Kelsey and raise awareness. And I think doing a fundraiser every so often comes in. We got a $5 donation. Thank you for the $5 donation. Every little bit helps. Every $5 donation is $5 more than, $5 more than it was before, which is awesome. Which is awesome news. So football, I think the Patriots are winning next week. I think they're going to go out there and get it done. I think the Seahawks are going to get it done. I think it's Patriots, Seahawks in the Super Bowl this year, rematch. And I don't know how that Super Bowl is going to go. No donation is too small. And like Britt said, if you can't make a donation yourself, share the link. Let your friends know the story. There was one woman that said on a show one time, she says, Mazza, I can't afford to give anything. And I said, don't worry about that. I posted her comment screen. I said, don't worry about that at all. If you can't make a donation, don't worry about that. Don't think less of, don't ever think of yourself in a way that you feel like you have no value. Don't ever think of yourself in a way that if you can't make a monetary donation, that you can't help, right? You can always help. You can always help by spreading awareness. Spreading awareness is the biggest thing you can do. And I think the more we grow the audiences of people following Kelsey's story, the more attention it's going to get. And the more our GiveSendGo is going to get. And that's absolutely huge. And that's what we're looking for, is to just help her out the best we can and contribute the best we can. And that's our goal, to help her out and not let her do this alone. $20 donation looks like it just came, and that's great. All right, let's see what we got for numbers here. We are at $4,075. Let's get that total up on the screen. $75. Perfect. 4,000. Yeah, I think, Bo Nix being out's huge, Scott. I agree. And like I said, I'm not really fearing anybody's defense after the past 2 weeks. I'm just not. I'm not fearing the Seahawks or the Rams or the Broncos defenses at all, because I think that the Patriots offense, and yes, this is broken. This my zipper is broken. I tried to fix it before the show. It's really just stuck, and I got to make it not stuck. But yeah, it's just stuck on the side, so it's like all like it's been like this all show. Like before the show, I'm like, what's going on with the shirt? Why is I'm like trying to like fix it. I'm like, it's showtime. I got to do the show. I can't. I have to go there with the busted zipper, but that's okay. What you got to do? You know, sometimes wardrobe doesn't cooperate. What are you going to do? But yeah, the Patriots, I'm not fearing anybody's defense, because I think we got another donation coming in. Oh, this is another 25, I think. I think this gets us to, yep, we're at 4,100. We're going to stay on for a bit. I don't got work tomorrow, so I got no work tomorrow at all. So that's why I would have never done a Patriots show and a fundraiser show like this, because fundraiser is usually 3 hours. I would have never done this on a night that I had to work the next day, unless I would have pushed it to Saturday. But a Patriots game and a fundraiser the same day is too much when you get to work the next day. So I'm like, I got no work tomorrow. Let's do a fundraiser. But yeah, these donations continue to roll in here. This is great news. I'll check it again. All right, so we've got about $55 here in the last couple of minutes. That's awesome. 4,100. We're raising our total. All right, that's great. And our all-time number, the highest amount of donations we ever got was 4,291 on GiveSendGo dollars. Now, people believe, because we got about 800 for Kelsey off of the Pop and Popcorn store tonight, might have actually surpassed $5,000 at this point, which is awesome. That's fantastic. But yes, I'm not fearing any other team's defense. The Patriots are going to get their points. I mean, they got Stephon Diggs, they got Booty, they got the tight ends, they got the running backs, they got Drake May, they got the offensive line. They have a very, very balanced offense, which means that they can get their points on anybody's defense. There's no defense out there that should ever hold them under, say, 17 points. You know, all right, good. That's great. You got your donation in? That's fantastic. Good for you. That's awesome. Great to hear. Great to hear. We don't offer tech support on GiveSendGo. I apologize, but I'm glad you figured it out. That's awesome. And yeah, I'm not fearing anybody's defenses. Like I said, the Broncos, I mean, their defense has been solid this year, but we beat the Texans. You know, it's just the Patriots' offense and defense is very, very balanced. And when you take on the Rams, Justin Herbert's hurt, CJ Stroud's underperforming, you know, look what happened today. Look what happened last week. The Patriots got the job done both times, because their defense got the job done, and then our offense did great against the opponent's defenses. We fought through. And I think that's what's going to be the issue next week in Denver, is I don't think Denver's offense is going to keep up with this. We did actually beat Denver in the playoffs one year. Tim Tebow was the quarterback. I can't remember. Was that game in Denver? No, it was a regular season game I'm thinking of. We did beat the Broncos in Denver, but it was a regular season game against Tim Tebow. But we beat them in the playoffs too one year. 2011 or 2012. I think it was 2012 we beat them when Tim Tebow mania was going on. But yeah, like I said, the Patriots offense is going to get it done. And I think the thing too is that they're always gonna defensively, like the Patriots tonight, like we had that fumble. They stripped the ball out of Drake May's hands, and then they recovered it. And then our Patriots defense, Christian Gonzalez swatted the ball out. We got a fumble recovery. Our defense is coming through for us. They definitely are. And they're going to continue to get the job done throughout the playoffs. So I would say this. If the Patriots do lose, it's not like it's going to be in a blowout. Like I don't see us getting knocked off the field completely. But I like I said, I don't know what the Broncos are going to bring to the table if the Chargers and Texans haven't. Unless it's a matchup issue, I just think the Patriots have a lot of balance on both sides of the ball right now, which means they can fight against any team they play against. So, yeah, Diggs and Booty were fantastic today. Ramondre Stevenson, fantastic today. Absolutely great day. Absolutely great day. No question about it. So, all right. Well, I'm running out of steam, so I'm picking the Patriots. I'm going to see if I can get Mark Betterow next week for a Patriots preview of the AFC Championship on Sunday. We'll see what we can do. But yeah, look for me soon. Look for me soon, and we will definitely continue raising money for Kelsey. I like to give it at least 2 weeks in between fundraisers on this channel, just because of I don't want to do them every week, just because it takes a lot of planning. But I like to do at least every 2 weeks. We'll see. So we'll try to plan for 2 weeks from now. And the popcorn store will actually still be open to the 2nd. So we're looking at, what's today? I want to see what Sunday is 2 weeks from now. Is the 1st. That's a bye week. That's a bye week too. That's Pro Bowl weekend. So there's no football that weekend. 25th? No, the 1st. February 1st. That's the last night of the popcorn sales. Okay. Okay, maybe we can do it on the 1st. We'll do it on like the 31st. I'm probably going to be busy. Maybe we can do February 1st. Maybe we can do that. That might work for me really well. We'll think about that. We'll look into that. That might be perfect. That'll be the last day of the popcorn sales. We can kind of boost the popcorn sales one more time right at the end. And looks like we're stabilizing here at the GiveSendGo right now. Okay. All right. We'll put this in. We're going to go with 4,100 exactly as our final total. Plus estimated $800 plus in popcorn purchases. So that's going to be it. Okay, we'll put that in. I'm going to do a screenshot right now. Let's get that in. All right, let's do it. Get my snippet tool up on the screen here, and I'm going to go quiet. All right, back on screen. There I am. I'll check this fundraiser one more time. I was like, I'm always worried. It's like the money's going to come in again right afterwards. So great. All right, so that's it. Our final total is $4,100 plus an estimated $800. Where do you buy the popcorn at? Let's get you the answer. 1 second. Let me put that in the chat for you. And 50% of your popcorn purchase, you can buy other things like candy and snacks and cookies, goes to, yeah, it's in the show description, but here it is too. Where the popcorn at? Where are the popcorn at? Okay, it's right there. You go to that Poppin' Popcorn Online link, and you can make your purchase. And 50% of your purchase will go to Kelsey Fitzsimmons Defense and Medical, which is fantastic news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out. It's been almost 4 hours on this show. I'm running out of steam quicker than I thought. We did almost 4 hours. Hey, we did a great job tonight. We helped out Kelsey Fitzsimmons, which is great. For MazzaMedia, I am Mark. Have a great day. You guys are awesome. Thank you to everybody that donated tonight. Thank you to Emily C., Nurse Kim, Lauren Katie, and Britt Happens for being on the show. I appreciate it. And it's a great night. Let's see what Scott says. Thanks, Mark. I was sort of here watching football at the same time through most of it, paying attention to it. Thank you. I appreciate it, Scott. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. For MazzaMedia, I am Mark. Take care of yourselves. Have a great night. Free Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Also donate to Karen Reed, Turtle Boy, if you'd like as well. Continue the fight for justice. That's what we're about, a fight for justice. Let's free some people. Ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourselves. Go Patriots and free Kelsey Fitzsimmons. Have a great night, guys. You are awesome. Take care. Bye-bye.